So today we have a special guest with someone I would probably consider like a brother because we grew up, we were close. Happy to have you on. We'll talk about a bunch of different shit, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mike Whistler here.
AKA Stiffler.
Oh, whoa. I have not heard that in forever.
We'll go through that deal.
Goodness.
Lee, how you doing?
Doing good, man. What's up, Mike?
Not much, you know.
Glad to have you on the show.
Yeah. Getting settled in here. This is pretty sweet.
Not too bad, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How you been?
Dude, just doing good. Living that family life, you know.
Yep.
4 kids.
Yep.
Married.
Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that's why I got to fill you in, you know. So, man, our kids are, obviously they're my life, but, man, they can run you through some troubles right now. Got one in middle school that's giving us a run for our money, so.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. I think I know which one. It's the baby mom.
The oldest one.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You know.
I know that one. Bro, like, I don't know what it's like lately. When I've been able to, like, get deep sleep. Like, I don't dream.
Right.
Like, I go completely, like, pitch black.
Same.
And then my alarm goes off at 4:30. And I'm not joking. I probably sit, like, straight up 1 hour of hitting snooze. Like, full-on cerebral palsy phase from, like, fucking Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I don't even know how, like, this shit happens, but...
I'm the same way, though. Once I hit the pillow, I mean, probably give me 15 minutes, you know, Katie will be talking or watching some show or something, and then it's lights out, and the next thing I know, it's my alarm going off at
it's crazy,
6 a.m.
And then, like, your
What do
days
you
blur
think
together.
that means, though, real quick? Like, I have a lot of friends that they'll always talk about their dreams that they have.
Right.
Like, I hardly ever have dreams.
I'm the same
Same.
way, dude.
Yeah.
And my wife is, I mean, she's got these crazy dreams, and I'm just like, man, I wish I could, like, even, like, it's just a blank slate when I close my eyes. Just, I get nothing.
Well, for me, it's, like, depressing because it's, like, we create content in real life. I can't even do it in a fucking dream.
Right.
Like, it's, like, I don't know if I just work myself to exhaustion or I'm just, like half retarded or something wrong with
There's
me.
got to be something to it.
Well,
you
'cause
know?
they tell you, like, you know, to get, like, that REM sleep is, like, your goal.
Right.
I don't know what that's like.
But I thought the REM sleep was when you're just like maybe that's where we're at. So we're not getting any dreams.
So I thought it was REM sleep was like you dream. And then, like, if you don't dream, you're not, like, I guess you're not getting enough, like, oxygen or whatever, which makes sense for me because as I get older, I get fatter. So, like, I get it. But, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I need to get a doctor on here.
Yeah. We need to have like Lee over there just looking everything up as we
He's like
as we can't answer things.
What's the homeboy from Rogan?
Jamie.
Jamie.
Lee has a good ring to it though. Lee, look that up.
Leland.
Oh,
So you just started a new adventure.
I did.
You do, actually, I'll let you just run with it. Tell us how you got started, because it's kind of cool.
How I got started in the lights or
And the drugs. No, yeah, the lights.
the drugs. Oh, the lights. Well, I mean, I could start back when Katie and I had got married. We moved into our townhouse and hopped up on the roof and threw lights up. And neighbors like, hey, you know how to do that? Yeah, I know how to do lights. So because I had learned when I was like 16, you know, doing landscaping in the winter, you know, and slap lights up on a house. And, you know, I was never afraid of heights and stuff like that. But so from there, you know, neighbor did it or neighbor had asked for a quote, you know, start doing that. And now I've transitioned into permanent lighting.
Okay.
So this lighting's, you know, controlled on an app. You know, you can be anywhere. I could be right here in the studio changing the lights on my house for all the holidays, all the accent lighting. So, you know, getting this thing off the ground, we started back in November, and, you know, obviously kind of got started late in the season. So we had a few clients and have done a bunch of jobs right before Christmas. And then, you know, just kind of after the holiday season, you know, it kind of falls off. So you got to, get out there and do the marketing and, kind of start building the brand here.
Well, Pastor Alex behind me, he is like wants to build like a Jesus altar outside, and he's like desperate for a lighting guy. So
Nice.
I'll get you those contacts.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen your business grow though? Like, has it been like pretty receptive, or you guys like struggled a little bit?
It's been a bit of a struggle. You know, like I said, kind of getting a late start. I don't think so. It's kind of like requirements. You buy into this. They're called gemstone lights. They're the manufacturer, and I had learned from my previous employer, which, I mean, we could go through the history of my work life, but I've worked like 2 jobs in the last 15 years.
Right.
And one was for 12 years and the other one was for 1 year. And then had somebody reach out and, hey, let's do this permanent thing together. So I got a business partner, and we hit the ground running like mid-November and had to do like the lights on our house, which I've installed these, on hundreds of houses before our own. So it was easy to do that part, once we got approved, and then, okay, you guys can start, getting out your quotes and getting your bids coming and order material from us. So
you pretty much buy into like a turnkey type business. Is that what it is?
yeah. So we had to go through a process of becoming a dealer for them, and then we can, install, or if, we have other people that, want to buy the lights that know how to do it. Like, they have to be
Kind of like a drop ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So we could build something like that as well, where we're kind of a vendor, supplying someone else for the lights and kind of overseeing that as well. So
I'd imagine like on the lighting end, because you're buying lights at what cost, or a little bit above cost.
yeah.
So if someone buys just the lights and they don't want the install service, what's the markup on that?
So
Like, just ballpark. You don't need to go like way into it, but
I don't even know if I want to go there.
okay.
Yeah. To be honest, so it's really not just buying the lights. So it's a whole system.
Okay.
So the track and the lights together
Okay.
is it's the whole system. So I can't just, here's a bag of lights, and you
Right.
can poke holes in your wall or something. It's a service that we provide, and we're putting the tracks on the house. We're installing all of it, and then we set you up on the app, and then kind of show you how to use it, and then you have fun from there. I mean,
Like on the app, is there like a monthly subscription?
nope.
No?
Nope. So you buy the lights. So I have like a power supply that I install, a hub that is basically the brains of what telling the lights what to do. And from there, we just hook that to your Wi-Fi in your house, and then you have the app. They just go on the Google Play Store or Apple Store and download the app and get that, and
You got full control.
link it all. You put in your verification codes and stuff like that to link it all together. But then from there, it's all fun and games.
So like when you do like a full service quote, like install, regardless of like how much it is, does that company that's supplying the lights, do they take some of like your labor charge?
So we're just buying the lights. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
At a cost. So, I would probably say, so typically our jobs, right now in season, little promo we have going on,
Run it.
in February, any referrals that we're getting, we're, giving the referral. So if you just send somebody to me, we're giving you, gift cards in return. Like share the love, right?
Right.
February.
Right.
And on all my social media, I'm doing, all the Valentine's lights and stuff like that.
So have they told you what the promo is for March?
So this is mine. I'm coming up with all this.
It's your deal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So all they are is just giving me, we just buy the lights from them.
Yeah.
And then we're providing that, we can do whatever sales or anything. So like right now I'm offering from like $20. And then as we get closer to the holidays, when it's more of a, demand, right? We're clear up into $30 a foot.
Oh, okay.
So, on your house, you got, like I just did one the other day. It was about 100 feet. So, you're like $2,100
Okay.
taxes. And, never have to get up on your roof again. And,
People like that shit.
Oh, they love it.
You ever fall off a ladder?
I've never.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Never.
That shit sucks.
I had one that kind of wobbled on me, but never fallen, and knock on wood.
Have I ever told you this story in like our personal relationship, how this happened? Oh, fuck, dude. So back when I was married, we were renting a house right off Bacchus Highway in West Jordan.
Okay.
And it just started dumping snow.
Right.
And we had, the satellite.
Yeah.
So I took this long ass pole that's used to like replace light bulbs on like vaulted ceilings, wrapped like a towel around it just to, brush it off, and couldn't get it done. So I was like, fuck it, I'll get up on a ladder. So set the ladder up. I'm like shimmying all the way up, and they tell you like right there on the top step, don't use this as a top step. Okay.
Every time.
You've known me for a while. I don't listen to directions that great. So I actually put full body weight on that top step.
Right.
And I'm like, brushing everything off. Well, the ground's soft, and one of the legs is like really pressed up against the foundation. And then so when you get like a fat shit like myself on top of these ladders, like literally this fucking leg bent. The ladder fell, and then Sean went sideways.
Oh my gosh.
Hit my ribs. I could feel like cracking.
Oh.
Never felt so much pain in my life, dude. Like I literally couldn't breathe. Thought I was dying. The best part is the ex-wife is looking through like the side window in the garage, watching me do this, and then watching me fall.
Like, get up, Sean. You're fine.
No, like she came running out. She's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm just like, like could not breathe.
One of those
dude.
gut punches, just can't ever catch your breath.
Oh, bro. So I end up going inside, and I have to like, in order to like breathe and like manage the pain, imagine like, so you sit on a couch like this, right?
Right.
Okay. Imagine your back where like your head is like up against the back. You're like flat 90.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, I'm having to hold body weight up, plus breathe, plus like process all this pain going on. And I'm just like, holy fuck, dude. So it got to the point where I seriously thought something was wrong.
Oh, right.
So I went to the doctor.
Yeah.
And, the doctor's like, all right, hop up on the thing, the bed fold out fucking thing at Instacare.
Right.
And he's like, okay, go ahead and breathe deep. And he takes his two fingers and he starts pressing. And I'm like, oh my God, like about to
ribs
die.
Or something.
I literally thought I cracked ribs.
Right.
He's like, okay, we're done. And I was like, so what is it? And he's like, you didn't crack anything. Most people think they break ribs. Like they break them like,
Yeah.
He's like, you may have a couple stress fractures, but all of your pain is in the cartilage of your rib. And I'm like, okay, what's next? He's all, here's some 800 ibuprofens. Have a good day. And I'm like, hold on a minute. And he's like, all right, fine. I'll give you some Percocets. I'm like, okay. So my dumbass goes to work like next couple days. And I'm like, at the time I was working in a union job.
Right.
And I walk up to my supervisor and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I fell off a ladder. And he like started laughing. And I was like, okay, like it's funny. But they gave me Percocet. So I'm like, I have to take these. He's like, nope, don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know there was like that, that thing. Because I'm just an open, honest person,
Well, then you should be if you go to work and you're in, around machinery or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we're forklifts and all that
I mean,
shit.
you're talking the industry I came from as a safety guy. I mean,
exactly.
for 12 years of my life, you would have been one of my training videos.
Perfect.
You falling off your ladder, and
we'll just create the training video, and I'll just get fucked up. I'm all
I'll
about
just follow you around with a camera and watch Sean do his regular ladder stuff.
So like now I won't get on a ladder. Like I've literally developed a fear of ladders. Like I'm like even the little giant step stools. Like I don't like even dealing with that shit.
You don't even like coming off the ground.
No, I've never been a heights person. Like I'll do roller coasters and shit, but like, if
you're strapped in.
Oh, bro, like if we went to New York and I went up to the Liberty Tower and like had to look down, like game over, I'm done.
Oh my gosh.
Like it doesn't like frighten me to where like I feel like I'm going to die. I just get really dizzy.
Right.
And I'm just like,
what anxiety going on for sure.
So yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, like I said, coming from that world, scaffolding, I mean, there was times where hey, hop up on the top of this 100-foot scaffold and help these guys tear it down. And as a safety guy, I'm looking around like, can't these guys do it? They're like, no, they don't want to go up there. I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I had just never been scared of that stuff.
Really?
But as I get older, I'm like, I want to build this thing so I don't have to be up on the roofs and on the ladders. I want to get, jobs coming through where, I can hire. I got some guys that I know that know how to do this stuff as well, and just keep the jobs in front of them. So.
Right. No, that makes sense. I feel like the next time I get on a ladder, I'm going to end up like that clown on Billy Madison and like hemorrhage in my head. Like, it's bad, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Nowadays, though, I don't do any of the physical stuff. I just boss people around.
Yep.
And I joke with my HR manager all the time. I'm like, I'm surprised I haven't been in your office yet. And he's like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? He's like, because you could always stop by and say hi. And I was like, no. Stick to your office, because like I work in the moving industry, and you deal with some very interesting people.
Right.
But when I can full on call my guys like child molesters, and it's accepted, and they're just like, oh, just Sean being Sean.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're not. Just,
Right.
But anyway, like nowadays, I don't deal with that shit.
That's good.
It just, I don't know. It ruined me for life among a lot of other things too. So.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. The tallest ladder I have is a 32-foot tall ladder, and I've been on it recently, and I'm just like, man, this is getting up there. Anything higher than that, I'm calling for a lift or something, but
or like a scissor lift.
Yeah.
Or something.
Like 32-foot tall ladder is, just carrying it around by itself is a job itself, but climbing up that thing, you're like, I don't like doing this very often, every single day.
Fuck, dude, it's crazy. Right. So have you got into the Park City market?
No.
I'm going to hook you up.
It's kind of been, just here in the Valley. I mean, like a lot of stuff around me. I did a couple neighbors in Daybreak, and then just kind of some relatives and friends of friends, and just kind of going there from there. So
because you came in and helped me out on my last job,
right?
Delivering probably the worst furniture you could ever buy.
Oh yeah,
cheapest shit and charge a lot.
Yeah, seriously,
it's the name of the game.
Yep.
Anyway, I know designers. I'll hook you up.
Right.
Let's see if they're interested.
Right on. Because that is one thing that so the previous company that I was working with, they were getting in with some of the builders. So like if you're a builder, reach out, and during the framing stages of the house,
which is so
we
much
run all of our wires.
Right.
And that's what I like to specialize in anyways, is having no exposed wires. All the wires are ran inside the track. And even when you have like roof changes and pitch changes, we can run it through the house. So it's, so in the framing stage, it is money. That's like the best time to get them. So if you're building a house or anything like that, in a framing stage, I'll jump all over it and help you out.
I wonder, oh, okay. I'm going to send you a bunch of shit.
Okay.
I'll send you some designer contacts. And I'll let them know that you'll be reaching out.
Right.
And then I will get the phone number to the guy that built my dad's house.
Right.
So I'll tell you this story. They do amateur hour there. Like what I'm about to explain to you is probably some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. So my dad comes into the build, and they're not like all the way done. But there's not a lot they're going to allow him to change. This is like a custom modern home, He knows he's going to sell this home regardless.
Right.
So, dad wants to get out of Vegas, move to Draper. And part of the, draw to this home is there's a home theater.
Okay.
And I'm not even joking. Coming from your industry, because I know the company you used to work for and what they do.
Yeah.
So...
Still know a good guy over there.
Yeah, you do. Your dad.
That's right.
So this is a 5-channel speaker setup.
Yeah.
Which in today's world is really like amateur anyway.
Yeah.
You should be
That's like
7.2, 9.2, something like that.
Like your 7 or 7.42.
Okay.
You got to add the 4 for the Atmos now.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I remember growing up, your dad had one of the baddest movie theater setup. Like your house was the hangout deal.
Okay, but now
this I'm thing sure is insane.
This thing is insane, and he'll have like potential customers come in and like, I want something that hits really hard. Takes them to his house, and he's selling the exact same system. So real AVI Systems. Go talk to Jeff Whistler
if you want to rep it. You're good. So anyway, like they're getting ready to put the sheetrock up in the basement. You figure a home that's a multi-million-dollar home that you wouldn't have to double check the wires.
Correct.
So throughout this process, you know, Dad's in Vegas. He wants me to go like check on the build. You know, at first it was like once every 3 weeks, and then it turned into like a weekly excursion with like 55 like fucking pictures of fault.
Checklist,
yeah, just to get updates.
Right.
So the whole thing gets done, no problem. He moves in and he's like, you know, Sean, I need your help. I want to like do the home theater deal. What do you recommend? And I was like, well, I already have a home theater system, and mine's a little older, but it's a 7.2.
Right.
And I have the two 12-inch subs hooked up. So like it sounds good. It's not Atmos type shit, but it sounds good. So then before like we go into this whole like deal with the home theater, there's little things wrong with the home that for a multi-million-dollar home you should not encounter.
Right.
So then like I get this hunch where I'm like, okay, I saw the guys that were building the home, and they were like kids like either right out of high school, being led by like the partner of the firm that's like building the homes, or they're like, you know, like I'd walk in and there's like a case of Coors Light, they're drinking.
Oh my gosh.
Like I don't care about that, but the quality shows on some of that shit.
Oh,
So then like, you know, it has the closet where all the wires are hung and everything.
Right.
So as I'm kind of trying to figure out which wires go to what, come to find out that the front two speakers are good, like like your towers, and then your middle channel's good. And these fucking idiots wired the back channels to the fronts. So like I'm figuring this out, and then I turn and look at my dad, and I'm like, this is amateur hour. Like this is a problem. He's like, well, what do we have to do? And I'm like, we don't have to do anything. You need to call the builder, because if you go to try and sell this home and you're selling a home theater that looks like a 5.2 or whatever, is really a 3 something.
Yeah.
Like you know, and like I love the audio stuff. Like that's my thing. Because like, you know, high school had the sound system, you know, so that's carried on into, you know, my adult life.
Yeah.
So he calls the builder and he's just like, you need to get your fucking people out here. So the kid that ran the wires came out and he's like, I don't see anything wrong with this. And I'm like, okay, kid, let me explain this to you. So then I explain it to him. I go, do you understand the problem? He's like, well, I ran it at the owner's house, the same setup. And I was like, okay, either you're a moron or you really don't know what you're doing. So, you know, my dad,
right?
He'll just start bitching and he gets his way.
Yep.
Same thing here. So they come in, they pull baseboards off. They're like running, like feeding wires and doing all that. So they redid the entire wiring to do it. And then we finally got it like installed. But I'm just like, holy fuck, how do you buy how do you justify work quality on a $500,000 or a multi-million-dollar home?
Right.
And you can't even wire a fucking surround sound. That's the easiest shit ever.
I don't know, like, not that I'm like really in that industry, but I feel like just building itself, there's so much going on right now. Like it's insane.
Right.
And it, you know, like I pass like the Edge Homes things or whatever, and it's just like, man, there is so many townhouses and so many houses, and I'm sure, you know, you just, hey, any Joe Bob or whoever, you know, come over and get a job, you know, and we'll show you what to do, and then they just let them run with it. I mean, because I see the quality in, you know, my own house, and it's only 3 years old. I'm like, man, there's these kids cut corners, and same thing. I had just seen the kids that had, you know, installed it all. I'm like, oh, they're pretty young or whatever, but you know, just have some quality in your, or some, not quality, but like
pride,
pride in your work and what you put out there. Cause
pride in anything you
do. It goes a long way. Oh yeah.
You know?
Right.
But like my dad was telling me in Vegas, the quality is so much better. Cause like Utah's known for like, you know, I'll even just throw it out there, Ivory and the cookie cutter home,
Yep.
you know, where like every third house is the same.
Right.
And the only thing you get to change is the color,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
So,
And those are, it's just and they have it down to a science.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's like every other day there's a new trade coming in and house is done in
4 months.
Yeah.
Like
It's
start
wild.
to finish 4 months. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like it took longer
is
for the
wild.
foundation to dry for the fucking walls to come up. Like that's,
No, that's,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like
believe that.
they are quick.
oh, for sure.
But anyway, like, you know, the quality is so much different style of houses, but they don't do that cookie cutter bullshit.
Right.
And then he comes here and he's thinking he's like buying this like top end quality home because he doesn't look at it like I'm going to live here forever. He's like, in a couple of years, how much can I make off the deal?
Right.
And he's always been that way.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
anyway, yeah, like the workforce here when it comes to like finishing work
Mm-hmm.
is so like you either have like your top people and they charge you a fortune, or you have kids that coming out of high school that just don't care.
Right. Yeah. I totally agree with that.
So with your partner, have you hired anyone yet, or are you guys just
Nope.
doing it all yourself?
So I'm pretty much doing it all right now.
Oh, okay.
You know, until we kind of get, you know, more like, I would like to be scheduled like maybe a month out or something, have, you know, a bunch of jobs coming up. And, you know, if it's too long of a waiting period, I got some guys I can call to come and help install as well. So,
Your brothers come out and help you
no, just the kid that I kind of showed at,
Okay.
I mean,
at AVI?
yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, if he wanted to help, just kind of a side thing, like 1099 them or whatever.
Right.
So there's some different options though. So just got to get those jobs stacked up. And as we get closer to the holiday season, but like I said, right now, you're not thinking about it, you know, 9 months down the road.
Right.
But right now the prices are the best because just the time of year.
Yeah, I mean, it's February is always like that. I feel like February out of the 12 months is like the slow kid in class.
Yeah. That's
Like-
probably why it has the least amount of days too.
Well, like, well, yeah, that's a.
Let's just get through this one.
They're like, you're kind of dumb, so let's just cut
Got
them
some days off.
Right.
Yeah.
But no,
Every
like,
now and then we'll give you an extra day though.
right. Yeah. Like every 7 years, you get an extra day. Go get them, Tiger.
Oh, that's funny.
No, like, because like in my industry, February is always the slowest.
Right.
And like typically I usually love Februaries because I have guys that like have like multiple days off during the week, so I don't have like the constant traffic of dealing with this, you know.
Right.
And then like any projects I have in mind, I can actually like do these projects. What I didn't realize though in the position I was in was because guys want to work every day and then they start having days off, I start getting flooded with text messages like, why am I not working?
Right.
I'm like,
Oh,
let me
Yeah.
explain this equation to you. I have this many jobs
Yep.
and this many people, and I'm trying to balance this thing out. Meanwhile, you're coming in late or calling in or no call, no showing, and then you have the fucking balls to ask me why you're not working the next day.
Yeah.
Like, that's the shit I deal with.
right.
And anyway, it's gotten better. I do more contractor-based work now.
Nice.
But anyway, like, yeah, February is like fucking retarded.
It is. I don't know. It's like, you know, like I feel like there's been a few days this month where it's like kind of nice weather, you know, and then you get snow, rain. Like, I mean, last year
Right.
was insane. I think that snowstorm was last year in February.
Right.
That huge one, like, oh my gosh. But, yep, good old February.
I know. Usually, like, because like me and Lee have talked about it, like trying to set up like I have that golf net, and then like I have the equipment to like make it like an outdoor simulator.
Oh, okay.
And like when we were talking about, you know, doing the podcast here, we're like, you know, we should bring the golf net here.
There you go.
And then like after we got it all set up, we're like, there's no room for this.
Right.
So like our church neighbors, they're potentially looking to leave, and they have the biggest office space.
Oh, nice.
Like we would full on do golf net. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a
Have
done
a
deal.
whole setup.
Oh
over
yeah,
there. That'd be
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Or like, you know, Lee sent me a video of another video, or what are they, a media company?
This full-time filmmaker.
Yeah. So they have like one of those warehouses, like the new age warehouses where like all the customer parking's in the front, like the bays are in the back.
Okay.
But like they have like this dope fucking setup,
Huh.
and like they're walking through it, and then you go toward like the dock area, and there's like all this room. So they have like different stages set up for like the different things that they do.
Right.
And I'm like watching this video and I like stop and I'm like, Lee, we got to get to this point. We got to put a golf simulator in here.
Heck yeah. Got to set those goals, right? Yeah.
You still sick of golf yet?
Am I sick of golf?
Because last time we talked, your family's like always been like super competitive.
Oh my gosh. And that's maybe why it's ruined it for me, because it's like
forever or
no. I mean, maybe it's because I was golfing last season at the beginning with my dad and brothers, but not that we ever get too crazy. But I mean, we always do like a Father's Day golf thing, which we should talk about that.
Okay.
Because we're just kind of opening it up to whoever. Like, let's just get a big group together, but we always do it Father's Day, and get all the dads. So it's all the Whistlers, and my family got my dad and four uncles, cousins, everybody that can golf. Even Grandpa was out there last year, and it was a grand old time. But as we're coming down to finish, it's like, we got to make this putt, and Whistlers are always competitive.
You guys have always been like insane, like with the competitiveness. Like I feel like if like me and my dad went to this, it would be like 1 versus 20, and I'm not even a good golfer.
But it is fun because we were doing like, we even got the little markers for like closest to the pin on a couple holes, longest drive.
Really?
So, yeah, we were doing fun stuff like that.
You guys are like a church ball crowd.
Oh yeah, Talon and I were in the office one day and like, let's start doing this and doing the longest drive, and so there's we're just trying to make it fun every year, and it's just a little family thing that we've done the last few years. But last year, like my brother Braden had his buddy come, and other friends, and we're always like, yeah, let's get more and just keep doing a little.
Up.
Yeah.
So there's a golf league that I'll be joining this year that Lee did his first year with, and it's called the MGA.
Okay.
Mediocre Golfers Association.
Sounds perfect.
So Colby's been trying to get me to do it. So if you ever go golfing with us, this is what I'll tell you. Like, if you actually like golf, and whether you're good or not, like you just enjoy getting out with the boys and driving around and hitting the ball.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
Like, Lee, disagree on that?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So do you remember AJ?
Just golfing in general. I mean, just being out there is awesome anyways.
Right.
So when you throw your buddies and a couple drinks in, I mean, how can you complain?
So I'll tell you that there's a couple funny golf stories from last year. You, me, and Colby and Lee need to go golfing.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you this, if you like golf, this is the most non-competitive like foursome out there. We're just out there to have a good time. To watch Colby go into full-on meltdown mode is worth the price of admission. This motherfucker on 2 different occasions, just in the city, got so mad he chucked his club up into a tree. And one of them, like, he didn't even see where it went. And I had to, like,
go digging
up on a hillside, try to find this thing. So Colby has a nickname when he freaks out. You know John McEnroe?
Yeah.
So we call him Colby McEnroe.
Love it. That's awesome.
So anyway, like, he plans this Mesquite trip March of last year. So me and Colby, and Colby's the only dude I know at this time. We go down with 2 other guys and had a blast. Like, it was fun as hell. It was so fun that like a month and a half later, we planned another Mesquite trip with the bigger group.
Nice.
Do you remember a kid like growing up? His name was AJ, death metal kid. I don't want to say his last name.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
AJ,
and I've seen him on social media.
Okay.
What you're talking about?
So anyway, he's a phenomenal golfer. And then they have another guy that they go golfing with, nicknamed Mo Pete. Also a great golfer. So Colby wants to be part of like the good golf group.
Right.
So Lee gets invited to this group, and then Colby, and then those other 2. AJ is competitive as hell. Like, when he doesn't play well, like he's very upset.
Right. Never be.
Shout out to AJ.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. He gets mad. He's like shooting at 82, and he's like mad.
Like, if I hit 120, I'm happy.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm in the same boat with you.
Yeah, I'm like 120 and like 12 balls.
Right.
And I'm good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we have the second group. So it's me, this guy named Matt, who's a he's a good golfer. Like, this kid could golf. He can smack the shit out of the golf ball. He's probably, what would you say, like right behind AJ Lee as far as like good at golf?
Yeah, MOP's good.
No, Matt.
Oh, you talking about Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt's
Matt
there
like
with AJ.
Matt likes to party. So he'll get fucked up on the golf course. So like obviously his like playing goes down as we, get into it.
Right.
And then there was 2 other guys we were with that I met for the first time. So we went, like, we hit Soldier Hollow down in like St. George, and then we hit Mesquite, and then we hit, like, in Mesquite we golfed 2 different golf courses.
Did you say Soldier Hollow? That's not
You're like,
No, what's the one down in St. George?
Sand Hollow.
Yeah.
Sand
Sand
Hollow.
Hollow.
Okay, not Soldier Hollow. So anyway, we golfed the 2. Like, there's a few down in Mesquite, but there's like 2 like memorable ones. What's the one, like Black
Falcon Ridge.
That's one Colby likes. That
Wolf Creek.
So Wolf Creek, have you golfed any of these? Okay. So Wolf Creek is a challenge in itself because for like the first 13 holes, in order to get to like the where you tee off.
Right. T-box.
The tee box.
Yep.
You have to hike up a mountain. And you're not even hitting like black.
When we were golfing, like the winds were crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that makes it like, because it's like a gettable course. Like if it's like a regular day and you're hitting them pretty straight.
Right.
But that wind factor just like,
who knows?
there's a par 3 where you're just literally like hitting straight up onto this. Like mine landed like barely short of the green and it rolled all the way down. And
Oh
it went
my
down
gosh.
the
Clear back
cart
down the
path
fairway.
to,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
out of bounds,
Oh my gosh.
It was fun, but it was bad.
Yeah. As long as you're out with the boys, I mean, it's always a good time golfing.
So we get to like the 15th or 16th hole. And so I'm in the degenerate group and Lee's in the professional league. Well, we pull up to the tee box and it's kind of like Bonneville at one of the last holes that you hit over the goalie.
Okay.
So we pull up and we don't see the Champions Club in front of us. We're like, what the fuck are they? Next thing you know, I see a ball go take off and they get in the cart and they go. And I turn and look at Matt and I started laughing my ass off. And I was like, Colby just hit from the woman's tee because he can't get over the goalie. And he's like, no, he didn't. I'm like, no, he really did. So we finished the round. Everything's good. We all go back to the hotel rooms, shower. And then like Colby and AJ kind of run like the itinerary. And so there's a famous, or not, I wouldn't say famous. There's a steakhouse in one of the hotels. Catherine's. Really good. So there's 8 of us, and they put us in the middle of the restaurant on a round table. You've seen Chappelle's show, like Player Haters Ball?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is it. Real life. So we all sit down, and like, a little bit of the shit talking starts. And then I turn and look at Colby, and I was like, did you really hit off the women's tee on hole 16? And he almost spit his like drink out. We all started laughing. Next thing you know, it's like, fuck this and fuck that. And the waitress came over and told AJ, like, hey, stop saying the F word.
Right.
And AJ, like, he got pissed.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, like, just imagine 8 grown-ass men talking shit the entire time, eating really good food.
That's awesome.
So anyway, those are some of the trips that we did.
Heck yeah.
And then Colby's like, this year, he's like, we got to go to Mesquite. And I'm like, okay, like, let me know the dates type thing.
Right.
And then we started doing this. And like, this is where like me and Lee's attention's at right now. And then I actually just got promoted at work. So for like, again, stupid month of February, like I'd be done with my job by like 10 or 11. So the girl I work with, she loves to come in late anyway. So I would have her come in at like 11 or 12. I would like get the morning part. So then we would just swap. She would take over and then I would go home. And I got promoted and then I realized there's a bunch of issues that need to be fixed. So I went from working like legitimately working 3 hours a day and then planning this podcast to working like 14, 15 hours a day
Oh
and
goodness.
still trying to pull this off.
Right.
So
That's what I've noticed. Like, starting this on my own. I mean, I'm not doing lights every single day of the week, but when I'm not, I'm trying to, be pulled over here to do.
right.
I'm doing like finishing basements and helping out with finished carpentry and doing finished carpentry and stuff. So, I feel like with business, like you're either focused like all on that, and you're trying to make that thing work, which is my goal, right? But at the same time, I got to keep food on the table,
Yeah.
and I start doing this over here, and it's like, man, now I can't do this. It's like there has to be a balance, or you put all your chips over here, and I'm just sitting here grinding, and that's I've kind of forced myself into doing that, making that change. And all right, I got this business. I'm not going to stop hitting this and going until it's working, and it's just constantly bringing in money.
So one thing I can tell you, and that me and Lee talk about this all the time, is like we're devoted to this.
Absolutely.
And this podcast, this platform launches everything else that we have planned.
Heck yeah.
And then it all kind of flows through it because then as we're doing it, we start getting different guests that we didn't think about.
Right.
So like in previous episodes, I talk about like we put 26 ideas because we just like, let's look at a half a year goal.
Okay.
And then we put all these different people on there. Like I put you on there because you just started the lighting deal. But it was like all these random people. And then like I always go back and look at the picture because we had it up on the board and then took a picture and then, erased it.
Right.
And I look at those 26 ideas. And at the time when we first started this, I was thinking like, yeah, we can get the majority of these.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're like almost on track to hit 25 out of 26.
Nice.
And the 26th one was like, this would be a cool goal, which would be, let's try to get like a current Utah football player
Oh, nice.
to come in and like do the interview,
Right.
which is why I wish your brother was still at the U, but open invitation because I would love to like hear about that lifestyle.
Right.
So if he ever wants to come on, or if you both want to come on, like red carpet, open invitation, like you just let me know when.
Well, that would be a small time football player. He's like Cedar City down here is so small, but everybody knows everyone,
right? But he lived the Utah lifestyle, trying to just make it.
Yeah.
And then now he's doing bigger and better things down in over at SUU.
Yep.
I still can't believe Dixie changed their name. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Dude,
Utah Tech?
For real.
So anyway, like as we kind of thought that this was going to be starting off with those like 26 ideas, I got Zeke on, who I know personally, doing the MMA thing.
Right.
Next thing you know, we got Zach on doing, COO of Fierce. And then through Colby, I got Kent, who was at the time the heavyweight champion. And then like this thing's morphed into something totally different, which is so cool to watch.
Oh, it is.
And now like we're going to have another local hip hop guy on where his recording studio is where Post Malone records sometimes.
Nice.
So it's like all these different degrees of separation. And like as you watch it unfold, it's really cool. So I hope like in your venture, as you build this thing up, like my advice would always be like 150% at this thing.
Right.
No matter what anyone says.
Absolutely.
Just go.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Because like Colby, for an example, was always like my biggest critic when we were just doing the audio portion out of my dad's basement. And like he would like give me pointers and stuff because, whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have
Right.
feedback like that from somebody that you trust and,
Right.
respect.
Now me and Lee joke around because we'll have separate conversations with Colby. And he'll be like, what's up with that lamp in the background? He's like, you got to hang that up. That's got to go or something. This is not a real lamp. This is like a piece.
It's ambiance.
But it's like it's part of the show. Right. So like me and Lee are like, we would always laugh about this. Like, what the fuck? And then in the beginning, he's like, I don't like the yellow couch. I'm like, that's the one piece that pops.
I do need to say something about the yellow couch. Like sitting here though, like I'm kind of torn, like, because I gotta face you here, and I'm just not very comfortable. Okay,
you get as comfortable as you possibly can.
We'll eventually upgrade.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been trying to like work on my posture and, you know, keep them shoulder blades back. And this couch does not allow for that right now.
Well, I apologize.
No, it's all right.
But no, like he's like, yeah, I don't. His was just strictly color, and he's just like, I don't like the color. And like me and Lee are like scratching our head. We're not coming into this with like financial backing. This is all our own money, and like a lot of this was already his. Mm-hmm. But like we had it, we used it, it works, and he's the only person to this day, with the exception of you, regarding the ergonomics of the couch. That doesn't like the couch, and he's the only person on this green earth who has listened to the show or watched it that has said something about that light.
That's funny.
I'm just like, what?
Leave it to Colby, right? Hey, look, it's almost as ugly as those Stiller colors, though.
Fuck
that
Stiller.
That Stiller yellow.
Fuck.
That's. I don't know why. Why would he not like it?
This will make you laugh.
Oh.
So during the playoffs, or actually, so before the beginning of the season. So Colby's a diehard, and this kid Matt we go golfing with is a diehard. I love Matt to death, super good dude. He is on a full different planet on what he sees his team as and what they truly are.
Okay.
So like as we're golfing, you know, he knows I'm a Baltimore fan. Like I don't get into football like I used to.
No.
You know, like I won't go out of my way and watch other teams unless like Lee is with me and like he's a Dolphins fan. So like that whole Dolphins deal, love watching it because like Tyreek's awesome.
Yeah, good TV.
You couldn't fucking pay me to watch a Steelers game unless they're playing Baltimore.
I agree.
Anyway, like I read all the preseason stuff and I don't follow this thing. Like I don't know every single roster move.
Right.
This guy does. So he's telling me like he's showing the schedule and like they had a weak ass schedule.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, dude, we're going to win division. Only have like 3 losses. And I'm like, hold on a minute.
Who's your quarterback?
Thank you. See, Lee, this is what I'm talking about. There are people who have played the game and can have an intelligent conversation, and it's not a knock to Matt. I have many friends like this. Then there are people who have never played a snap, try to predict things, and I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about?
I mean, I'm in the same boat as you, though. I'll watch Sundays. I just have it on, cooking, hanging out with the kids or whatever. But like when my team's on, I'll probably be doing the same thing. Monday night game, I'm sitting there, cooking.
Team, Mike?
Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Lee, when you talk,
Team.
hey, pull your mic a little closer.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
There you go.
I should know better.
So, those Cowboys.
But do you have those like freak out moments and then like it ruins your week?
No.
Okay.
We
used to be like
even
that.
Katie will tell you too. I used to be like that. Like a Sunday would be ruined, and
That's how you get divorces.
God forbid it's been 26 years, and my Sundays always killed me.
You either get
I've stopped counting.
So you either get a divorce because of that behavior, or if you win the Super Bowl, it's the best year ever for a marriage.
Is
okay.
Dak the guy, or is Dak just another Tony Romo?
I think Dak is better than Tony.
I feel the same way. Dak's better than Romo, but I feel like when it was Romo's team, like he was the whole team. Like he didn't have a defense like Dak does. It's totally. I don't know. I feel like there's not as much pressure on Dak there's still a lot of pressure, but also the defense. Like they gave up 40-something points.
But you just lost Dan Quinn though, right?
Yeah, and got.
Who's the replacement?
Mike Zimmer?
He'll be all right. He's okay.
Yeah, they were saying that. I mean, not like once again, I kind of just catch the headline. I'm a headline reader and move on. I got other stuff to do.
Well, I know Dan. Like I don't know Dan Quinn, but I know of Dan Quinn because he was the Gator DC at one point.
Okay.
So like through the college ranks, like I knew about him and then watched him kind of get into his roles. Like he's a stellar coach,
right?
But so anyway, back to Matt. Like he's literally legitimately telling me they're going to be in every game. They're going to lose 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's your fucking quarterback? He's like, oh, whoever the young kid is they drafted.
Trubisky or
no, that's the joke. That's the
Rudolph.
Pick something.
Oh,
Pickett.
Pickett. Yeah,
Pickett,
fake slide guy.
Yeah. So, what is he? Year 2 before the season, or
I think so.
So I look at him and I'm like, okay, your team plays in the NFC North. You have a second-year quarterback that you can't even keep upright because your O-line sucks. And you think you're only going to lose 3 games? He's like, yeah. And I go, okay. He's like, but our defense is stellar. I go, you have 3 great defensive players. Watt, the one like nose tackle, and then at the time it was Kirkpatrick, I think, one of the Bama players.
Right. I think he's still
Right.
right.
So I'm like, you don't even have the makings of a 500 team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could be a 500 team, and then like things could swing your way depending on the game. I go, but you were going to watch your team struggle day in and day out. I go, let me explain something to you about football. If you don't win the line of scrimmage, if your O-line's not good and your D-line is not good, you are going to get your asses handed to you.
Right.
I go, now go look at Baltimore's roster.
Yeah.
O-line is good. D-line is good. Granted, Baltimore lost, whatever.
Yeah.
But like it got to the point where like Pittsburgh got into the wild card game.
Uh-huh.
And I have Matt and Colby on a group text.
Uh-huh.
So Colby's notorious for every time the Steelers win, he'll text me and say, Steelers. Whatever. Like, that's his thing.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker, Matt is like upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is affecting his life. So you probably know me better than most people. This is like blood in the water for a shark.
Right.
I'm going to fuck with you
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
And so I just started going to like, you guys need to get rid of Tomlin. Like, he's tripping players on the field, and like brought up
Clean house.
did just a whole bunch of
Right.
stupid shit just to see if I can get the reaction. I joke you not, during this text conversation, Matt is telling me, like, we're actually deep diving into his team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who the players are. I don't care about the Steelers.
Right.
But he's like, our O-line's good. Like, our center is great. I shit you not, Mike. I showed up today waiting for Lee to get here, and I'm on ESPN, and I just see the Steelers cut their center.
Oh, no. There goes the whole line.
So you didn't even fix your issues yet, and then you just cut your best player, and you
That's
fucking
funny.
think you're going to win this division. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. Football's fun, though.
Colby's
Always
actually
a good time.
Colby's a good sport about it, though. I don't think it affects his life.
Yeah.
I think because he sells shoes.
Uh-huh.
I think if you get a scuff on your shoe, affects him more if the Steelers win or lose. Like, no joke.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyway, like, is your dad like because I know like your dad was like hardcore Cowboys too,
Mm-hmm.
and like, is he still like amped up like he was?
I mean, I would say no.
No.
I mean, there's times like, hey, you see the game? Oh, I forgot it was on last night. Or
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just he's doing his thing, like whatever he's got going on, always building something around the house. Like, he's actually working on a golf simulator in his garage right now.
Oh yeah, we got to go to your dad's house.
Oh yeah.
Because I know your dad does not spare any expense on that shit.
Oh no. He's getting the whole thing automated. So like
on
when
the Mount Rushmore of all time Cowboys?
well, you got to go with the triplets, right?
You go Emmett,
So triplets
Aiken.
are in.
Irvin.
Aikman, Emmett, Irvin.
Staubach.
Okay, I like it.
I mean,
Yeah, they're the only ones that have ever won them.
That's 5 rings right there.
now do the Mount Rushmore of Cowboys who had cocaine problems. Irvin,
Michael Irvin.
Leon Lett.
Hey, why would I want to focus on the negative aspect of the Cowboys
Doesn't
game?
matter. They got the trophy.
Hey, that wasn't negative though. That they were winning championships.
Hey, maybe there's something to that.
Bro, I promise you, every
So
NFL.
Cameron, I don't know if you know who the rapper Cameron is. He has his own podcast called "It Is What It Is" with Mace,
Okay.
and he was talking about when they were getting ready to go into the playoffs. He was saying that they need to start doing coke again.
Oh my
New
God.
Cowboys. He's
They
like,
keep you up a
because that
little
was
bit.
the recipe for them
Right.
winning championships.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you got to feel up
They
before
got
the
the
game.
cocaine Cowboys.
Hey, I can barely remember those days. I mean, I think I was like 9 in 94, 10? I was 10 in 94.
You
So
were 9 when you started cocaine?
what?
I'm just kidding.
I'm saying, like, I can.
When you remembered when they were the glory years.
Right. I can barely even remember those days anymore.
So I have a running joke with people I used to work with. Like, I don't care about the 49ers,
Mm-hmm.
but I love every game they lose because their fans are so horrible. Like, my brother-in-law literally wanted to bet me my entire paycheck when they played Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Then called me a pussy And then they won, and he wouldn't talk to me for 3 weeks.
Right.
Like, their fans are so bad. So,
like, just to have a game. I mean, there's way more important things than
oh,
a game on Sunday. You know, I mean, yeah, your team's in it. You cheer. It's over. Whatever. Okay. What do you bring to the table? Like, they don't care about you.
Don't play the game.
No.
And then, like, half these fans are, like, never played a snap.
Yeah.
So, like, you and I could watch a game, and we can do, like, pre-snap reads.
I'll even tell this with Katie. Watching the game and, you know, there's a PI on a Cowboys guy. I'm like, ooh, I don't know. That was kind of a rough call. You know, I wouldn't have called that. Or
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
Like, I got no dog in the fight. I mean, I'm a fan, and I'm just going to sit back, and I'm going to cheer. And I don't get any, you know, riled up or too high or too low about anything that I'm just rooting for.
So here's a funny story. So out of high school, I ended up moving in with my real mom because at the time I was living with my dad, and him and I were having issues. And I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gone. I'm gonna go, you know,
Try something else.
live with my mom,
Yeah.
build a relationship because, you know, as you know, she wasn't there when I was a kid.
Right.
So she ended up buying this house in Sandy, and I was living in the basement. And I have never played a little league inning of baseball, let alone high school or anything else. For whatever reason, I love watching baseball. Like, I could literally watch any team, anytime, all 9 innings. I don't care if it's 2.5 hours with the clock now or 4.5 in October.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm a Yankees fan. So I end up getting the major league ticket, like the Sunday ticket.
Okay.
And I'm literally sitting in this banana chair. And I think this is the day where I'm like, okay, this is too much. I'm not affecting this game, and it's killing me.
Right.
So I'm watching New York Boston
Okay.
at the height of New York Boston.
Yeah.
And they're in New York, and New York beats the shit out of them. And I remember, like, A-Rod hit like a 2 or 3 run, and I remember jumping up, and I'm like, yeah, suck my dick. And my mom comes around the corner, and she's like, Sean, watch your mouth. And at that point I was like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah.
Like, and then I remember it's the same year where Boston came back from 3-0.
Oh, yeah. Me
And the ex-wife are at Chili's surrounded by Boston Red Sox fans. And I'm like dying because it's, 3-3. And then that game 7, Boston beat the fuck out of New York.
Oh, man.
And I was just like,
I do remember that.
At that point, I'm like, I can't let this shit affect me anymore. So the only thing right now in life that affects me, aside from the job, and that's a whole other like different deal, is golf. And it's not like if you and me go play, I'm not going to sit and talk shit to you. Like if you fuck up and get mad, I'll laugh. I get mad at myself.
Yeah, I'm not getting mad. I'm every swing is a different story.
Right. Like
Every time I hit the ball, I have no idea.
Right.
I have all the great intentions.
Yeah.
And usually when I don't care, that's where it will go.
Right.
But when I'm actually trying,
Right.
I mean, you can find me over there in right field.
Well, like professional players hit the ball 70% of what they could so they can control it.
Yeah.
I didn't learn that till year 12 of playing golf.
I think I'm just learning this right now.
Right, exactly. So like when like me and Lee would go golf or like Colby would come along, I go to watch him freak out. So to watch people get pissed off and then get really super competitive with the next person makes me laugh.
Yeah.
However, I have put a lot of time into golf. And I know I've kind of probably hit that ceiling unless I'm playing every damn day.
Right.
Which I won't be able to do until I'm 62, 63. So I've hit a...
That's when you plan on peaking?
No, like right now I peaked. I'm good. Like this is
okay.
I know this is the best I'm going to get.
Gotcha.
Because I can't dedicate the true time it takes to be really good.
Right.
But I have a level of expectation. And like I love driving the ball. And I used to just put everything into it. And then I started like practicing more my irons last year, and I can't hit my driver with the shit, and it kills me inside. So anyway, when we go golfing, like that's the only thing is just me being competitive with myself.
Right.
But I like it though because it's not depending upon other people, but it gives me back that competitive like drive, like that manliness that's like deep down inside you.
Oh yeah.
Because like right now, like in everything else in my life, the only thing that pisses me off is my job, and that's because at times what I find is like common sense, someone thinks is rocket science, and I can't level it out to where I'm like, how do you not understand this?
Yeah.
Like, take me through your mindset.
Right.
So anyway,
Kind of got to learn, like, because I feel like there was situations and, in my past, like trying to explain it to me this way, like show me where we're trying to get. And maybe I have a different way to, I totally, it's kind of a ebb and flow thing, right? So
here's the thing you can use in your everyday life that I've started to do. When you start to get mad about something, and it could be your kids, the wife, shit going on in your business, or like just anything on the job site.
Right.
Where you start to like think like, okay, this is common sense. How do you not understand this? And you're getting frustrated at the person because they don't get it.
Right.
My favorite thing to ask them is, take me through your mindset. Why does this make sense to you? Mm-hmm. But you have to do it in a way where like you have like soft tones.
Yeah.
Because if you come out, you're like, take me through your mindset. They're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Why are you attacking me?
But what I found though is like when they take me through their mindset, I already know they're wrong. But then when they explain it to me, then I understand their point of view.
Right.
And it's helped me like get better at work.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't know. I got a good team. I went off on a tangent. Don't even know why.
Hey, we're just here for a good time, right?
Yeah. I just shoot the shit. I haven't seen you in forever.
I know, for real.
I think the last time we hung out, like, could we talk about the edible thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I
yeah.
wasn't sure. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So,
well, I was actually thinking about that earlier this week. I was like, hell, when was the last time I saw Sean? And it was watching the McGregor fight.
yeah.
When he snapped his leg.
No. Wait, was it that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I was upset about that because I like Connor a lot.
Uh-huh.
But I remember you're like, hey, do you want an edible? We're going to do edibles. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then like the fight starts and I'm like, fuck it, give me some. And I ate the whole thing and you're like, whoa, dude, like, do you normally do these? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then by the time the fight ended, you guys were laughing your ass off because your friends ordered ice cream.
Oh, that's right.
And then like we had ice cream and I still didn't feel it kick in until I was like ready to go.
Right.
And dude,
we're like, give you 45 minutes to an hour, Sean, and it'll be a good grand old time.
Yeah.
And I think the fight had ended.
Yeah.
And the ice cream was
melted.
Almost okay. It was melted. Oh yeah. And then I remember you calling me the next day like, dude, I think it was like the longest drive home ever.
It was the longest, fastest drive I've ever done in my entire life. So like Lee, you could relate to this because you're an edible guy too. I eat this edible at the literally probably the start of the second round of this fight. And ice cream comes. I don't feel anything. And then the fight ends and like everyone's getting up to go home. I'm like, okay, like I feel fine. I'm going to drive home. So Mike lives up in Daybreak. And at the time I was living downtown here. So I used to just shoot straight up to 114 and then jump on I-15 north.
Yep.
So by the time I get out of his neighborhood, I can like start to feel it kick in. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I feel relaxed. So by the time I got to Bangor, it was like danger zone shit. Like this, I knew I was in trouble. So the drive from Bangor all the way to I-15 was like driving in slow motion. It took fucking forever to get to the I-15, and it's not that bad of a drive.
And this was edible shrooms or edible?
No, weed? Edible weed.
So, well,
sativa.
If we want to shout out,
yeah, go for it.
Kush cubes.
Kush cubes. Okay.
Yeah. So,
so anyway, I had this moment in time of my life where I felt like 3 years aged to get from Bangor to I-15 on our. Like I'm not even joking. I get on I-15. Next thing you know, I'm getting off the freeway off 6 South, and I don't even know what fucking happened. Like, dude, like legitimately don't know any of the events that happened. I could have killed someone, and I'm just like, green light, go. Then I get home and I remember
Okay, honestly though, do you like use the cruise control?
all the time.
Dude, that's
the best.
Literally.
It's the best.
Like I honestly like very rarely touch the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Like once I get up to speed, just cruise control and just kind of chill.
Yeah.
Like my wife's always like, you drive so slow. I'm like, I just drive steady. Like I'm just going a steady 5 over everywhere I go.
Right.
And I'll meet the guy that's, cruising past me in and out of lanes right at the next light.
Right.
So I'm just always like, cruise control. I got nothing, no rush.
No, none at all.
I mean, unless I'm in a rush, but.
Right. So I get home literally, Lee, as soon as my full body actually felt the bed and there was a delay reaction there, like Sean floor out, like done. I call him the next day and I'm like, what the fuck did you feed me? And he's just like, it's just a sativa dill. He's like, you weren't supposed to eat the whole thing. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that?
Well, I think we did. We always tell everybody, start with a half.
Okay, maybe you did.
Half a Kush Cube.
Okay. You probably did 100%. I don't listen to people when it comes to fucking edibles for whatever reason. Because I've had other instances where I've eaten like, like the chocolate squares, like the Hershey ones.
Mm-hmm.
I've had deals where I've eaten one square, waited a half hour, ate another one, waited 15 minutes, still not feeling anything. Next thing you know, I'm like 4 or 5 squares in. And then it hits like a delayed fuse for me. And then I don't feel right for a week and a half. Like I don't feel like Sean. The body's disconnected from the mind. Just it fucks me up for a whole week.
Okay, so you literally need set a timer. Be like, I'm not going to take anything for 45 minutes.
I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
Enema cleanse.
So you take the edible and wait. Like if it's been 15 minutes, be patient. Wait longer. Read it. Do something.
I don't have patience. That's the problem.
Oh my goodness.
I need that instant gratification.
Yeah, that is nice too. When just working right away or whatever. But
other extracurricular activities that both you and I have experienced, I like that because that's instantaneous.
Right.
Obviously, you can't do that shit long term, so I don't do that anymore. But the one I love the most, like to this day, in fact, we went down to Vegas, and that's how I met one of the guys from the very first episode we did.
Okay.
And that's who I'm going to LA tomorrow.
Gotcha.
We bought a shroom bar from Colby. I bought one.
Huh.
And me and Lee, as we're talking about getting this off the ground, because we're like, okay, we're going to go do Vegas. Mm-hmm. And then when we get back, we're going to hit the ground running and get this going. So during that time, I had this idea, because I wasn't in the MGA golf tournament, but I was going to crash it.
Gotcha.
That didn't happen though, because the night before partying. Anyway, I networked and met a bunch of cool people and kind of got, we have a golf division we're going to start where we're going to record all of our shit. So I'm going to get Colby McEnroe on camera and make him go viral.
Nice.
So anyway, I buy a shroom bar from Colby and we're down on Fremont.
Okay.
And this is the epitome. Oh. Dude, this is
Fremont Street.
This is what me and Lee look forward to.
Uh-huh.
And
because we waited for the last night, or at least I did.
Well, yeah. I
didn't want it to affect
your golf
tournament,
game.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Matt, he kind of dropped the ball on that because he was in the top 10 of the entire thing, and there's 300 golfers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he partied with this guy and got way fucked up. And then his second round, he just played the worst round.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
it was day one.
It was the
worst.
Yeah, he couldn't even wait. The first night that they got there, they were partying.
He just went to town.
Let's just say
well, there goes the
first
golf
round,
game.
he screwed it up.
Let's just say Matt drove down to Vegas. We had a night. We stopped in Mesquite. Colby was with us. And by 11 a.m. on the way down, the partying started. That's all I will tell you. And it did not stop until the day we left.
Right.
So, Matt is a great golfer when he's sober and he's on. Colby, now mind you, MGA is how would you explain it? The degenerates of.
But there's a lot of really, really good
There is.
golfers. And
Yeah.
then there's a lot of terrible
Shitty
golfers.
golfers.
So
Right.
it's like a wide range, you know.
So, which the goal of MGA, and it'll tell you on its website, is like it's for mediocre golfers. Like if you're like a scratch golfer, this is not your league.
Go do something else.
Right. Like
those guys.
Like go try to be in the PGA. But Colby, he's been doing this for a while with the MGA. So his last year he played so well but so bad that they do in Vegas, they do two different like tournaments.
Years or something.
You have the lower deal.
Okay.
And then you have like the good golfers.
Mm-hmm.
He got into the good golfers. So like day one, he was pissed off at Matt because Matt was so fucked up from all the partying. They drive down because they're in the same golf tournament.
Yeah.
And Colby's freaking out because he thinks they're late to their tee time.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, fuck, we're late. And like, this is his Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so they get there and they like go to check in and they're a half hour early. So they're good. So they get all their shit done and like they start golfing, and then Matt plays the worst round of his life on 0 sleep.
Oh.
So then they get done with day one and we all go out, same deal.
Right.
And then Matt gets like 2 hours of sleep, golfs the second day, does better, but still plays like shit.
Right.
Colby got so fucked up the night before the second day, which is the last day, he didn't even make it to the golf course.
Oh my gosh.
So this whole year he's bragging about being in the upper dill, and he didn't even golf day 2.
Oh goodness.
I was like, oh my God.
See, I feel like so once you say league and you put like me in a category, I'm instantly already competing. Like I working and hey, come join our bowling league. Like, bowling league, why would I want to do that? So go down the alley with these guys, and I was doing like this substitute thing. So if you have somebody that doesn't show up, you know, I just bowl. So they'd be like, hey, come this Thursday or whatever. All right, I'll be there. But then the next season, like, hey, a guy out of our team dropped off. Like, we need somebody. I'm like, all right, I'll go buy a ball. I'll just do it. I'll just fill in, you know.
Right.
And get a ball. I mean, I was like every Thursday, like we were going during lunch and practicing.
You're doing the spin.
Oh yeah, I'm like, but once you throw league on anything, the Whistler competitive
It just
gene.
comes out.
Oh yeah. So, you know, like I was decent or whatever, but our team was like, as we're coming towards the end of the thing, we're like in the top 1 or 2, and it came down to like a point system because you earn like points each week or whatever. And we're like down in the top 2, and the top 2 play each other. And that final week, we just buckled. Just shit the bed and fell out of second place. And like, oh man, we're falling apart once the pressure came on us. But
Captain Brian's mad. He's going to commit suicide.
So coming from the guy that didn't even want to start the bowling league, and every Thursday I'm like, oh, why am I here?
Right.
And then once that ball hits the ground, I'm like, okay, it's on. Let's go.
So are you signed back up in that league?
No, it was just like it was while I was working at where I was doing the safety guy thing, but so just with those guys. But
that sucks.
Man, I feel like lately though I've just been like a family guy, you know, just
like a
chilling with the family, and you know, like
a Peter
maybe almost too much. No, not that. That's why I try to be going to the gym every day,
dude. But, I'll tell you what, at our age, you're still getting up and going to the gym is pretty remarkable.
6 a.m.
Like we were here to talk to, you know, the pastor about trying to work the recording schedule out. And then like him and I always talk and kind of game plan like what our next steps are and like goals and everything else.
Right.
And like he could barely keep his eyes open last night. And I was tired too. So we left. What time did we leave, Lee, last night?
It was like
midnight,
11:30, close to midnight. Yeah.
So he goes back to his place, walks his dog, and then goes and works out.
Right. Got to get it in, right?
Get it in, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do that.
I feel like, so I prefer to go in the morning. And I feel like once I do that, like the rest of my day is cake.
like
that is literally the
Right.
hardest part of my day, like lifting, and
Right.
I push myself pretty hard, and I take it pretty serious when I'm there. And honestly, I do. Like, I throw my headphones in. My brother was showing up, and
Alan or Tyler?
Talon.
I think
We would say like 5 words to each other the whole hour and a half we're there, because I'm just like in the zone. Like, I'm there to do something, That's my hour to focus on myself and, get in good shape, right? That's no reason to go to the gym and talk for an hour.
Well, like, your gym sets the day for your day, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so mine is a large iced tan mocha from Beans and Brew every fucking morning.
Okay, but you can turn. So what I've been doing, like protein shakes. So I go to the gym in the morning, come back home, get all my stuff ready and go out for the day. But just like I've tried like a coffee, like I just dump protein in like anything, like iced coffee. We'll just dump some protein. That'll make it good.
Mike's like, I need a pick me up. Fucking doing a line of Coke.
Yeah,
but it's
not
protein.
quite. There we go. Vanilla protein. But yeah, that's literally like just to mix it up, because I feel like when you go to the gym and you're almost like a creature of habit.
Oh yeah.
Just, okay, here's my routine today. Here's my routine, and you just kind of keep doing the same thing over and over. And, that even spills into like the rest of your life, just come home, okay, kids got homework, got to brush teeth, get this kid to bed, this kid to bed. So it's like, for a while there, I'm just like, man, I'm just like NPC, like my kids play this Roblox game and I'm like, just going through the motions,
What's that Ryan Reynolds one where he's the NPC?
Oh, Free Guy.
Free Guy.
I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
That was a good one.
I feel like though, because I've done the gym thing. I did it, like me and Chase used to go, and I've done like the early morning stuff, and then I've done like right after work. Like for me, it was cool to like get back into shape, and I didn't even get all the way into shape where I wanted to. I've never had so much fun being fat in my entire life. I'll tell you that right now. I'd have no motivation to do the gym thing.
Right.
But it's like teach their own though, like where you go hard in the paint, like at the gym, and it sets your day. And then like whether you're doing like your business or you're doing like the side jobs, like it gives you like that centeredness,
Oh, absolutely.
For me, it's like, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to win the day.
Right.
I already know there's going to be a million problems.
Yeah.
And I can't predict any of them. I just take them as they come. But it's like, it's cool though, like on my end, to jump into what I've jumped into, build a team to fix like a whole department.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks in, that's actually starting to pay off. So that's my motivation.
Right.
None of that requires lifting anything. Like, I feel like the amount of physical work you do is probably like brain power work I do, because I have to plan for like so much shit. But but it's cool though. Like, I'm glad you found that, because you were always doing the gym thing anyway. Because like your dad's insane doing it still, right?
Well, and that's what I was thinking about this week too. Like coming on, I'm like, man, I got to give props to my dad, because, I mean, you're at the gym, you see these guys like going around with the trainer, just showing them what to do, right? Which no big deal. We all started somewhere, but as a young kid, like I remember from like sophomore year, my dad was like, let's go to the gym, you know, and like go and showed me all the different workouts and stuff like that. And, it's like, that's something I want to have with like my kids, like girls start getting old enough. Hey, let me show you around the gym, because this can be like an escape for you, or, use it as a motivation tool, and, something to set your day, like I do for mine, and it can always be there.
Right.
I mean, you fall off. There was times where I wasn't going for years or whatever, and just,
and then you just jump right back into it.
But it's always good to have that, like, okay, I see a dumbbell and they're using this. Okay, I got some other options, because I know some other, workouts, and I'm comfortable because I've done it forever.
Right.
It does get old and monotonous, but
you're like, you have like incredible like muscle memory. Like you can fall back into that no problem.
Right.
But I remember like growing up playing Little League football. Like, do you remember we would play Brandon and Eric in the backyard? And then like we would destroy those guys, and then we'd wake up the next day tired as hell, and then go actually play a game.
Yeah.
And then like as we grew up, like your dad's like, let's go to the gym, and like he would destroy our legs, where like I couldn't even walk the next day, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like your dad has always been an animal.
Oh, he's awesome. And I always, you just got to live up, I got to live up to him. I feel like, and just,
No, dude, no, create your own path.
well, yeah. But, he's just been a great example to me. It's
Yeah.
kind of what I mean.
Yeah, like your dad's a phenomenal
awesome.
dude.
I mean, he was playing football with us in his 50s.
Right.
Back there being the quarterback, throwing us the ball and stuff in all these semi-pro leagues that we are
Right.
running around and playing. So, I mean, we just had a little meetup with some of the old crew that we had won a few championships with and just BSing with those guys and Wiss, you getting the call? Are you going to play? And, he's like, no, I'm too old, but
He would.
he would.
Oh, dude, he's
if
got
somebody
the heart
called and
to
said,
do
hey,
it.
come play flag for us this
Right.
week, he would give it everything he had out there.
Wasn't your stepmom a cheerleader there though?
No, she was a gymnast.
I'm joking.
But that's like my dad and her met, back in high school.
Jordan High.
Yeah. So
Your dad is probably like the biggest diehard Jordan fan I know. And then it crushed me, and even with like Brandon, it crushes me to see pictures of like when Braden was doing the Bingham thing, and then Brandon's kid is in Bingham too.
Oh, right.
And I'm just like, you guys are traitors. I get why they do it, but
Yeah.
you're traitors. Like
It's okay though.
to this day, I can't. I still hate Bingham.
What are you still rooting for Copper Hills?
No, but I hate Bingham.
Right.
Now.
See, I don't know. Maybe just because my brother went there, I was like, whatever. I can like these guys again.
It's cool though.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I got to tell the Stiffler story.
Uh-oh.
Who started that though? Like because I know you moved to West Jordan, because the first time you and I interacted was almost a fist fight. You don't remember that?
Just the basketball.
Yeah, like in
The
gym,
basketball court.
and you're like doing all the and one shit, and then like because you were competitive back then, and so I thought like if I can't outdo this dude, I need to rough him up, and you were having no part of that. And then next thing I know, like I didn't want to play on the A team, Little League football, and I'm
I
like
do remember this.
right behind you as we're stretching, and then your dad is like the head coach, and I was like, okay, like this could be good. And then like since then, like you and I have always been like friends forever.
Oh, for sure.
But where did Stiffler come from?
I'm pretty sure that was sophomore year.
Yeah,
And
isn't that Joey that gave you that deal?
I think
Or
so, because I think it was
Dustin.
Schilling.
Oh yeah.
Dustin Schilling.
Oh yeah.
Started that.
That's a funny story.
Yeah. So, like mom and dad, or mom and stepmom, or dad and stepmom pick me up from practice, and she jumped out of the car because they're probably talking to some coach, because I knew they went to high school with Egbert.
Yeah.
And so they were probably out of the car talking to him or something, and Schilling walks by. That's your mom? And that's, ever since then, that was the legend of the Stiffler nickname that I had.
I just remember like vaguely going to your house for the very first time as a kid. And like I knew your dad, obviously. I see this lady who was like drop dead gorgeous, big old fake boobs, but like conservative though, like not like hanging out, like
Right.
But it was just like, holy shit, dude, that's your mom? You're like, well, it's my stepmom. I was like, okay. And then like I remember meeting Aubrey for the first time, and I think she fainted because her, like, because remember her and I used to date all the time.
Right.
But she always had like the big crush on me.
Uh-huh.
I was joking, she didn't faint, but like you guys lived in the basement, and then you had the home theater.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, dude, that was a fun time.
Yeah.
That was so fun growing up.
Oh, it was.
What was crazy is like your parents were like still trying to do like the LDS thing, and I'm sure they do to this day. But I remember like going over to your house one time, and it was some like door-to-door thing in that neighborhood, but it was like an LDS function.
Okay.
And I remember just being so uncomfortable because I didn't grow up in that church.
Right.
Though. And like knowing you back then, like I could tell at that time, like you didn't believe this anyway. You were just doing what your parents were asking you to do. Whether you believe it or not now is not even a big deal. And
Right.
I don't care about the Mormon church. I think they're great.
Right.
Just not for me.
It's their own.
But anyway, like, yeah, like your dad was so funny because like he would like do the coach thing, come down on us, be like that Mormon father guy.
Yeah.
And then we got into high school, and then I would catch him saying shit that was like not Mormon related because he would say something like I can't remember. I think we were at practice, or it was like right after practice, and like someone said something to your dad, and it was regarding BYU for whatever reason, and your dad's like, yeah, I like to eat at the Y. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude. Oh my!
I know your dad's a dirty bird. Like I know that, but
well,
like it was so funny.
Even as parents now, like you watch a show with your kids, and you're like, oh, that was kind of like we were watching Puss in Boots, and there was a part where and it was literally like right before I came. Titan was watching Puss in Boots, and I'm like, what? Did that just bleep a word out? And it did, but it was like part of the joke of the show.
Oh,
okay. Like, this was like pretty funny. Like, and I kind of had my attention there, but. You know, like me and Katie will crack jokes like around the kids and like, you know, kind of wink and, you know.
Do you ever do like full on like no filter in front of the kids yet? When you're not mad.
I mean, like with Kaya.
Okay.
So, cause she's a little, she's funny.
She's a funny girl.
Yeah.
And like, she portrays this
she's smart
head, but she's a smart girl.
Yeah, she is for sure. She'll put us on our toes. Like, how do you know about that? Or like the things that they say. But man, these kids, like the words that they teach us nowadays, I'm like a gat.
That's a gun.
No, a gat is like a big ass.
A gat?
Yeah.
Is that like an acronym for something?
No, I literally have no idea. Maybe we can get. Hey, Lee. No.
What is it?
A gat.
What's a gat?
But not G-A-T.
It's like G-Y-A-T or something. Like that's how my girls say it.
Like,
a
girl,
gat.
yo ass big.
Yeah, you have like a big ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I knew
But these kids, like I'm just like, you know, and they're on stupid social media, which man, that's a whole nother story, right? But you know, like the stuff they come up like, where do you guys? And even Titan, you know, Ayo, he'll be like, Ayo, what's up? Ayo, what's up, Dad? I'm like, what's up with this Ayo, bro? Like YouTube, like my guys on YouTube.
Right.
You know, it's just like, man, these kids just have so many different things at their hands.
So I had this 21-year-old girl work for me, and she super cool chick, and I'm talking like totally platonic. I will not shit where I eat, so I don't do the dating thing with people I work with. But like, I'll actually tell you the story I told Lee last night, and this is true story, and then I'll tell you about the joke I said.
Hey, real quick. So it says that it's excitement or shock, especially in reaction to seeing a large buttock or a voluptuous woman.
Okay, but hold on. Is it like a Kim Kardashian type, or is it like this?
It just says large buttocks or voluptuous woman.
Okay, so
it's not like a big old fat lady that like beeps when she walks back.
No.
Okay.
No, like a nice big ass.
Okay.
Like, look at my gat.
Right.
That's how my girls say.
So do you know what a woody is?
My God. No.
A white girl with a booty.
Okay.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Gat though.
Yeah.
That to me, like that's the gun.
Well, so yeah, they kind of teach Katie, and then Katie will like kind of throw things out at me. I'm like, where are you getting this word from?
Katie kind of reminds me of Kaylin. Like they're the cool moms.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like
Katie will love this.
Yeah. Like they're the cool moms. You know, like
She is.
Kids get in trouble, and like you're like the authoritarian. Like
Nah, she gets after him too.
Does she?
But she's more of like, I'm the one that's gonna freak out. She's gonna calmly talk to them and
so you play good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Okay. Naturally.
yeah.
So I have this 21-year-old girl that working for me at the time, and I did not know like what, like kind of like the GAT thing. Like I don't know the young generation.
Lingo.
Yeah, I don't. So like I was telling her something, and she's like, "Yeah, that's sus." I'm like, "Sus," and she's like, "Sus," and I'm like,
I'm ashamed to know all these things, dude.
I'm like, "What the fuck is sus?" And she's like, "Are you serious, Sean?" I go, "Hold on a minute. I'm a 38-year-old white guy.
Yep.
I'm not part of your generation.
No.
Tell me like I'm dumb." She's like, "Suspect." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So now we're just shortening."
You're acting. Yep. You're acting sus, bro.
So I can't even remember half the shit. So I used to like make fun of her. Oh, she'd be on the phone with customers, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, most deaf." I'm like, "You can't say
okay,
that."
yeah.
No,
That's
like,
when you gotta like turn the business switch on.
right.
And be like,
Well, she's young and doesn't
use
have
all the full length of the word.
right. So we're here last night, and I don't know if Lee showed me the video first, but it's like another podcast where the guy that killed Osama bin Laden's on there, and he's like going step by step on how they do things. It's like it's a 14-minute video. It's fucking phenomenal. Like
Sean Ryan's show.
Yeah, like it sucks you
Really
in
good podcast.
as this dude is telling you how he killed bin Laden, and like it was kind of like the luck of the draw.
Okay, I think I've heard about this.
So I turn and look at Lee. I think I told you the story before, and then that's how we got on the video. But we were talking about this same girl, and I love fucking with people.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can do it in a way where you don't realize I'm doing it, like to me, that's even more funnier.
Right.
So as I'm like getting to know this girl and I'm like training this girl, I don't know how it got brought up, but one day I told her I'm a former Navy SEAL, call sign Salamander. I had this girl believe in this to the point where like I finally started cracking up laughing. She's like, oh, like that's not real. Like you got me. Cause I knew she was gullible. And I was like, oh damn, where I'm going to get this girl.
Oh, that's funny.
2 weeks later. So I have a Florida Gator helmet on my desk signed by the, I know that's fine. Signed by the 06 team that I got at the previous job.
Oh, okay.
From a guy that was an alcoholic and just needed money. So I got a really killer deal on it. So
another story.
Win-win.
Right.
So anyway, she's like, so like, is that your football team? I was like, yeah. She's like, who is it? And I said, you don't know who that is? And she's like, no, I don't really follow football. And I said, oh, that's Florida Gators. She's like, why do you like a team in Florida? I go, I'm not going to go through this with you. But I was like, yeah, and I used to play for them too. And she's like, you really did? And I was like, yeah. Mike, I'm not kidding. I started showing her Tim Tebow fucking highlights. I told her it was me. So within a month span, I had her believing I was a Navy SEAL and a fucking Florida Gator, Tim Tebow.
Yeah, you definitely only work 3 hours a day, don't you?
No, we were actually.
I'm just kidding.
We were actually busy, but I'll make time for this shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, that young generation's a little odd.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember, this will sound really weird. Just follow me on this. So I don't know if you and I were hanging out at the time or not, but at one point I had a female pit. I was living in this apartment in Taylorsville. So probably not.
I don't think so.
So I would like take the dog, put it in the back of the 4Runner, and like we would drive. And I was always looking for like either a dog park or like, for whatever reason, like I remember growing up having like giant baseball fields where like if they weren't playing Little League games, it's like the perfect place to like have a dog go take off and run.
Right.
You can't find those anymore. So I'm in Taylorsville. Somehow I end up all the way by Copper Hills. And it's 2:30 and school's out. And I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, you guys are fucking babies. Like I remember being in high school, like we were like adults.
Seemed that way, right?
It did.
Yeah.
I look back on it, like the old high school pictures and I'm just like, damn, you're a fucking kid.
Right.
But like I watch these kids walk out of the doors and like they're wearing Pokemon shirts. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah.
Now the one that drives me nuts is the short shorts. And then like their beginning of their mustache. So there's like bald spots in there. And they like kind of have like the curly hair.
Yep.
I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's see if you miss the gym in the morning and you got to go like around that 5 to 8 o'clock time. Oh, that's all it is out there.
Is it?
Just mustaches and the long like mullet curly hair.
I cannot take those people seriously. It's like watching an episode of East Down and Bound everywhere.
I love that show.
No, that's a great show, but that look, I'm just like...
It's weird, too. Like, everything's kind of going that style. You know, like, Paisley has Jenkos. She has a pair of Jenkos.
So I like...
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Those came back, and like, I'm not a fashion person at all.
Right.
But I was like, I'm going to get me some kangaroos.
Yep.
Because that was the shit. I don't even know if they sell them anymore.
I don't... I've asked Paisley, I'm like, what's on the pockets and stuff, you know, because you remember that stuff. Yeah. But just the fact it's coming back, you know, what is that? Freaking over 20 years ago?
Yeah, but like I was like really distraught when skinny jeans came out because like I'm not, like I said, not a big gym person, and I have
Mm-hmm.
like bigger thighs. I can't fit in skinny jeans.
Right. I never got into this like that. Okay, I actually heard you and Hess talking about this. When he was
when he's
skating.
skating, yeah,
skating. He's like, we'd buy the girl pants. Like, I never went that tight. Like,
no,
but I mean,
that's like Saturday Night Fever, 19.
the wife is my fashion coordinator. She damn near
Baggy
lays out my
jeans
outfits.
coming back.
What is it?
Baggy jeans.
Yeah,
Yep.
we were just talking Jenkos.
So they're coming back.
Oh yeah,
I think
my
it's like Billie Eilish and people like that bringing
yeah,
back
that baggy look. Yeah, totally.
That's my shit. I'm gonna get laid so many times. 5 years, Leaf. In 5 years, I will probably have AIDS. Watch, just watch. No, I actually don't even date anymore.
Why not?
I don't have the time, dude. Like between like this and like fully 150%, like supporting this to where like, so we like kind of how we have this is like different divisions within this idea that is gonna be the company.
Right.
So like the main deal is called Sick Puppy, which he came up with, and then the logo is almost like an animated or cartoon version of his dog.
Cool.
And then we have all these branches that break out of it. So then we have like the podcast, so a little bit of me and you.
Right.
We have the golf stuff coming up, which is 7 Iron Productions.
Cool.
And then you got what?
Show One Productions.
Show One, which
the
will
shorts
be
and the
yeah,
music videos and
Nice.
whatever.
and then what was the
This
other
is
one?
awesome.
The twin Gemini, or are you not doing
Gemini Life.
that? Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the guy that does all the video editing, he works with me, younger kid. He got in during like the online video game recording explosion.
Okay.
Like he
Like
was
all the Twitch guys and stuff like
yeah,
that.
so he's doing the Twitch thing right now, but like he got in on the ground floor like when this thing was about to explode.
Huh.
And then his mom did what any parent should do, which was the worst decision she ever told him which was you need to go to school.
Right.
Because he was like an up and comer, like getting big.
Like, what game was he playing?
I don't know. The Call of Duty right now is his deal.
Is it?
And he is like incredible.
Huh.
So anyway, his screen name is Sprite
Sprite.
because he got it way back then.
Oh, okay.
And so like everyone knows what Sprite is.
Yeah.
So like he's starting to build his following. So anyway, like so we have that portion too. So like we have all these big plans of like really growing these branches of this company.
Cool.
And then like with the day job and like going 105,000% daily into that, by the time I get home, I don't want to talk to anyone.
Right.
Like I'm done. Like
Right.
I'll go lay down and watch TV and I'm done.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, like if I'm trying to do these side jobs, it takes me away from my main goal. So I mean, I understand.
But you also have kids and a wife, so like you have people that require your attention.
Yes.
Like I know like in my life I probably missed the boat with kids. Or they just haven't shown up yet that I don't know about. That could happen too. I'm waiting for that. Totally kidding. Totally kidding.
Hey, is there a knock on the door over there?
Yeah. Papa?
They found you.
Hold on, you don't look like me. Just because you're fat.
Oh, that's funny.
No, like I kind of accepted about a year and a half ago that I probably am going to miss the boat on the kids. Which,
Or you just be the bonus dad, with somebody that has kids at this point, right?
yeah, as long as they're like able to piss and shit on their own and I don't have to clean anything
Gotcha.
up, like that's my cutoff. Like if you're newborn up to that point where I have to like smell your poo and change your diapers, I'm out. Like I can't do that.
Right.
That and ladders, done. That's it. But anyway, like I'm open to the idea of like meeting someone who has kids, but I'm probably going to be like the dude at 50 who gets the girl at 28 and have no reason being a dad at that point in life.
Right.
And it was just like, hey, we had a fun night. And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, like honestly, it's like I hate saying that I don't have time because with the right person, I would make time. But I do not want to derail anything we have here.
Yeah.
That's the one.
You got other goals and other things to
Yeah.
focus on. So
Yeah.
totally
But like
understandable.
that's the thing, like me and Lee have always talked about because one thing as a single guy, if like this, I shouldn't even say if, when this becomes successful or when the other branches become successful and it starts to go, the one thing that will derail you is a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
And like, we're just not having it.
Right.
Oh,
you got to leave on Friday night late,
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got to, I totally understand.
Well, like, so like Lee owns his own business. He's a contractor for a local company doing replacement floors for apartments.
Nice.
So like his day deal, he's like hard in the paint on that. So like we do a lot of like late night meetings.
Yeah.
You know how crazy women are. Like if I'm meeting Lee at 8:00,
where are you?
Yeah, like they want to know like pinpoint location where you're at.
Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes later they show up.
Well,
I'm not having that. Like
right.
you know what I mean? Like I need the space to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like I would like to, but I can't let it derail this.
Yeah. Like I always use you as an example anyways, and this story. We were, come through high school. You were always
I was married.
Yep. You were always hooked up with your girl and then got married, and I was out running the single life, and then
we swapped.
We swapped places, and it was almost like I'd been married for a couple years at that point when we kind of reconnected again, and you're telling me all the stories, and it's like, oh my gosh, Sean, like this is what I was doing.
But the problem is you tell your wife, and then when I have these moments where like, you would be a good match for this person, she's like, nope. He's a womanizer.
You came over and you told all your own stories.
But there was some that I think you and I had, but like, I don't care. Like, my stories are funny anyway.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
But anyway, I just remember like thinking like, God damn it, Mike, you just cock blocked me. Because one of your friends has that chick that lives down in Cedar City, is hot as balls.
I have no idea.
I have an incredible memory, so I'm gonna see if you remember this. At the height of all the conspiracy theory stuff that we were into.
Oh, that's what I needed to bring up too. Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So I come over to your house and like I feel like I'm like subject matter expert on QAnon. And then
this was like,
and then your friends show up, the dude with the beard and then the blonde girl that's with him.
Okay, yeah.
And then all of us just decided like at once we're just gonna get fucked up. Then we go over to your neighbor's house and he has all those games in his garage.
Oh, right.
Next thing I know, like your buddy's girl is just shaking her shit in the garage. Like I'm just like, oh damn! Like
drinks were flowing that night. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. Okay.
Because I think your mother-in-law just moved into the basement.
Something like that.
Yeah. So anyway, fast forward like months or whatever, we all meet up again, and then we kind of all decided like let's not do what we did last time. But then like I remember talking to your buddy's, it's his wife, right? So then she's like, oh, I got the perfect girl.
Oh,
like,
okay.
And I'm like, yeah, set it up, bring her up. I'm like, Mike, next weekend. And then like nothing ever happened.
Right.
And then like I think I went over like a couple more times, but one of the other times Katie was talking to me. She's like, so you still living that wild life? I was like, why? She's like, I was going to set you up with that girl, but I don't think that's a good match. I'm like, fuck, Mike. God damn it.
That's okay. Look where we are now, Sean. You got this sweet podcast, and that's where all your time and focus is.
Everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
I do believe that.
I like it.
Conspiracy, let's go. I haven't got in this in a long time, so tell me what you know.
What do you mean conspiracy? Like, okay, so literally last night, like Katie and I are just sitting around talking, and she, so, because I can't like really say too much about a conspiracy, but I'll listen. Like she gets stuff on her TikTok. Her algorithm is like,
oh, Katie's wild
mystery, and then get a conspiracy thrown in there. But so this one, I think the one that she brought up last night was like, dinosaur or T-Rex isn't real. He's like a dragon.
Okay.
Because like the wings on like birds and stuff, like I guess they don't fossilize or whatever. So they might have just like found the arm. I'm just like,
so I think
so I'm like a headline. So I just get the headline of the conspiracy, but I never look any further into it.
So I don't follow like the political conspiracy theories anymore.
Right.
Like the only thing I would tell people is like, we just had President's Day. I made everyone work because I personally don't recognize Joe Biden as our president. So you motherfuckers going to work on this day. little joke because people
Yeah.
actually think they need that day off and they don't. But the only thing I like, there's two things in life on the conspiracy theory world for me right now that I believe are 100% true. Number one, Kelsey and Swift is not a natural match. Like, I think these two were like put together on purpose. And the reason for that is because she's like batshit crazy liberal and he's Mr. Pfizer. And it's like,
Okay. Is it he paid
no.
to be in the ad?
Did he?
So I think he paid Pfizer like 20 million.
I thought he made 20 because Pfizer was looking to connect with the NFL.
Okay.
So he made more on the Pfizer commercial than he made on his annual salary.
Okay.
And she's like batshit crazy.
Maybe
left.
he was paid 20 million.
Yeah.
That's all I heard was
Right.
20 million.
Right.
Like I said, headline reader of conspiracies, and that's
Right.
about where I leave them at.
So I'm going to connect some really simple dots for me.
Right.
Okay? This is why I don't think that it's natural. You look at Taylor wrong and she'll write a song about you. And Kelsey's a womanizer. Like, unless your pussy's like fucking God sent, you are not changing that man.
Right.
But you look at the political ideology and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's my own deal. I don't have any proof of that.
Yeah.
I just don't see those two mingling like they do.
Right.
You know?
I don't know. Like all this stuff with, it's, a ploy for it's a script and, all that stuff. I'm just
Or
like
what do you mean? Like the games?
well, just like the whole Taylor Swift and Kelsey,
yeah.
and it was all fixed. And then you have Biden, just like we drew it up. You saw that, right?
No, but
So they posted a picture. He had like the red eyes, and it said just like we drew it up at Chiefs.
that's funny though. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Like, whoever's run his account is obviously like trolling everybody, but
Right.
it's just like
Right.
I honestly like. I'll listen to him, and some I'm like, man, that makes a lot of sense and stuff. But
No, it's
I think
entertaining.
It's fun. It is
Yeah,
fun,
like-
for sure.
But you have to know when it's not entertaining and like when you are like deep down.
Yeah,
the
when
rabbit hole.
okay, when you go to like a party or something and you start throwing things out there and people are like walking off, like
Yeah.
you probably like should be self-aware and be like, okay, maybe like
Well, your parties were awesome because like I was that dude, but everyone knew what I was talking about.
right. Yeah, we're all kind of in that same boat,
Yeah, so-
and it just kind of, and it was the time, like,
Right.
it was what pre 2020 or something, like coming up to 2020 or
Well,
something
yeah,
like that.
I mean, everyone thought that the arrests were coming, and no one
Yeah.
thought it was going to be Trump being arrested.
Right.
So,
Right. So
you know what I mean? Like that was the stuff I believed, and then like when it didn't happen, I was like, "Hey, I feel like an idiot," and that's when I really took a step back from all of it,
yeah.
and kind of started to adopt like the kind of the same thinking like Joe Rogan, where like I would tell you like I would classify myself as a libertarian.
Yeah.
I think we should destroy the IRS, the CIA, like all that stuff. I feel like the government, as in the federal government, should be like a pea-size influence in your life. But then, like, if you want to go do like heroin in the four walls of your own home, who the fuck am I to judge you to do that? That's your
Right.
life.
Right.
Just don't hurt other people.
Yeah.
Like
I'm kind of in that same
that
boat.
is just basic like common sense, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Let's
why is that a problem?
yeah. I mean, let's send $90 billion somewhere else where we can help Hawaii or wherever it may be.
Well, it's like we send $90 billion over to Ukraine when we should really be using that money to go take care of the homeless crisis, which you just experienced coming here.
Okay, have you ever heard like the stuff on that? Like and man, I'm like a huge listener of Rogan. Like,
Yeah.
I stay up to date like on every episode.
Yeah, so like what you're about to tell me will probably ring true because like I'm probably a little bit more delayed than you based off of like I can't listen to it at work,
Right.
but I'm sure what you're about to tell me I know what you're talking
So like the homeless problem, like these people have 6-figure jobs, like $250,000.
about. Oh, you're talking like the panhandlers.
No, so the people that run the homeless, like in California,
Oh, okay.
they're making like $250,000.
Yeah,
What incentivizes you to fix the issue?
nothing.
If you get rid of homelessness,
Right,
where's your job?
right.
Oh crap, nobody's homeless anymore. My $250,000 salary is now
But it's a grift. All of it's a grift because it doesn't matter. And this is what people don't really realize. Set aside the political shit. Just look at this as basic, like, economic deal. Like, look at your business, okay? Typically, when you start a business, you know you're going to run in the red probably for the first year, maybe two, before you, like, get everything in place to start turning the profit. Your goal is just to make sure all your shit's paid for, and then, you know, you're pretty much pushing negative debt forward until you catch up to it.
Yeah.
So if you are $30 trillion in debt, which means the value of the dollar is completely gone, and you continue to print money that is actually non-existent. Like, it's paper.
Right.
But it's fiat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, at what point, like, if you did this in a bank account, like, they're going to tell you, like, you're going to pay us back,
Yeah.
or we're going to send you to collections and fuck you up.
Right.
Why is there no checks and balances for this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then
that's crazy.
on top of that, like, you send all this money over to, like, Ukraine, and, like, you don't even have a stipulation in any of this legislation that just says, hey, Ukraine, why don't you send us, like, an invoice for what you use the money for?
Right.
Because the next thing you know, they do something with the budget, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we actually need to send $2 billion over because we didn't send enough. It's an accounting error." Get the fuck out of here! Like, that is the biggest bullshit.
Well, I think it just creates more distrust.
Oh yeah,
You know,
for
like,
sure.
okay, cool. Like, you read the headline or you hear the story, like, is that really, you know,
Right.
like, question everything now, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know, let's go check another source or something. But,
Right.
and then that's another issue too. Like, looking something up, you can find stories both ways.
Right.
So wherever you want to follow it,
Right.
you know, be my guest.
But that's what the news is today.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I
It's
try to tell my
Kind
dad.
of sad.
It is, but like, I try to tell my dad this because, you know, he's diehard Republican. You know, and he'll want to talk. He'll be like, "Oh, you know, those damn Democrats did this," and I'm like, "Okay, hold on a second." I go, first of all, the degree of separation between the two parties is almost non-existent. It's
Right.
the same different feather of the same bird.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, I'm like, "Hey, anytime anything happens, don't look at it like this is like breaking news. Look at it as the game of 3-card Monty. They're shuffling the cards around to get you distracted.
Yeah.
So while you're looking, bitching, and doing this, they're fucking doing something over
Signing
here.
some bill. Right.
Right. And then like, everyone doesn't really think about it. So anyway, conspiracy number 2, I was turned on by this from Colby. And he's got a guy that works for him who's like a subject matter expert in what I'm about to tell you. The more I look into this, like,
It sounds fun.
It is. But the more I look into this, and this actually has like historical, empirical data type thing, it makes a lot of sense. So, have you ever heard of the Anunnaki?
Like, the name sounds familiar.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Keep going.
Let's
hear it.
Let's take a trip in history way back in time. You ever heard of the Sumerians? You've heard of Mesopotamia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Mesopotamia was what they would call the cradle of like life of the earth. It's the first like civilization documented. You had 2 different types of people. You had the Sumerians and the Akkadians. Both of them lived in harmony together. Each of them have different names but same history along the same timeline. So they contribute the beginning of mankind to the Anunnaki. Now, I'm not going to sit and tell you that these motherfuckers came in a spaceship and did this.
Right.
But you look at like what they recorded at that time, where they literally had this boom in like technology in like farming, irrigation, aqueduct, writing. So like they've developed the first letter system, the whole nine. It's called Cuneiform script. And they sit there and they just document all this shit on clay tablets. So this will kind of go into the Graham deal on Rogan. So, you know, he talks about like the Younger Dryas effect.
Yeah, the
right?
Younger Dryas impact
or
whatnot. Yeah.
So you know what that is.
Yeah.
people who do listen to this, it's basically a giant flood that just wiped out most of mankind, right? So they talk about this flood. You have the flood in the Bible, and then you look at all different civilizations, different, religions. They all have this same story, just the timeline is different.
Right.
So, like, to me, there's a thing out there where you can call it God, Jesus, whatever you want. Stuff that you can't explain does happen. I believe in that 100%. But the more you read into this shit and you take it at face value, don't if you ever get into it and read it, it's an interesting concept on where mankind came from. So the whole deal is we had visitors to Earth who were looking to, continue their civilization,
right?
Because their planet was dying.
Okay. And
they come here because they want gold. Gold is always this thing throughout history, but they want gold. They don't want to do the work themselves.
Right.
So there's all these, species of animals, whatever. You can talk like Cro-Magnon man, whatever. They take their DNA and a monkey DNA or whatever and put it together, and that's how you get human history, humankind, what we know today.
Like they planted the seed and evolved from there or whatnot.
The whole DNA thing was done.
Right.
Then you get the first humans who were actually slaves. No, it doesn't matter what your color was. You were bred to work in the mines to do
Find
the
gold.
deal. Then the people, so the Anunnaki that created this, actually became like really like soft-hearted and fell in love with their creation, aka where you can kind of start the Bible deal.
Okay.
Okay. And then mankind goes, well, the Anunnaki had no way of getting back. So they perished. Eventually they just died. But then you get into like Atlantis and like all these other things. And it's interesting to see like from a logical aspect to like hear these stories or watch videos or read things. Like for me, that's entertaining. I'm not going to sit and tell you I believe it.
Right.
I could just tell you like look into the Anunnaki stuff and then the Graham Thornton stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like
Graham Hancock.
Hancock, sorry.
Yeah.
And then some of the other conspiracy theory shit that Rogan has on there.
Right.
And it's pretty cool to kind of get different views of everything.
Oh, it is.
But like at the end of the day, no one knows shit.
Right.
No one knows shit.
Yeah. It is fun. Like you get
Right.
something come across your Instagram or whatever, like, gets you thinking, maybe spark up a conversation or whatever, just like, oh, wow, how did that happen or whatever, know?
Right.
So
I just did a really horrible job explaining Anunnaki to you. So like when his buddy Brandon is ready to go, because he's like hard in the paint doing full research.
oh, man.
He's like, I'm not going on this and then having this go online
Yeah.
unless I have all my facts straight.
Right.
Eventually, when he comes on, watch that shit, listen to what he says. Like, I'm just going to let him go and like tell me everything.
Right.
But yeah, like at the end of the day, no one knows shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to me, it's like life is about being a good person, giving back,
Yeah.
and like raising good creatures.
Right. I agree.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun. Oh, man. And there's so many of them, though. Like, so one that I would just came across my reels or whatever. So they were talking about the Mandela effect. Have you seen this one where so there was a lady that was convinced, like the basket thing?
The cornucopia for,
Yes. Okay. So
I remember the cornucopia.
so do I.
Okay. Do you remember the monocle on
who
the
is-
Monopoly guy?
like, who is team, is it cornucopia?
Cornucopia is what
Okay.
it's called.
Who's team cornucopia right now? Like for real? Like, because that's how I remember it. And then they were saying that she went through her closet, like looking through all of her
find
shirts and found
She
one.
found one?
Yeah.
No shit.
And like it had it, and they went like back to the records, like, no, we never had that. And just like,
So do you know like the backstory of the Mandela effect on why, like the explanation of why it happens?
it's something where our universes collided, like that. This is what I hear.
Kinda.
Okay.
So like there's all these different things that like you and I probably remember, like Monopoly, the dude wearing the monocle.
Right.
I know that happened.
Yes.
Never did. You can go
They're
on and on.
trying to cover, like, recreate history or something. Something's going on.
Someone either has like some really cool power
Yeah.
and can fuck with people, and I respect that troll game. Either we're dumb and we imagine things, or the Mandela effect is we live in a simulation, and there's different dimensions. And what the Mandela effect is what's true in one dimension is not in the other, but they collide. And so, like, if you think of Matrix, like our programming, we're remembering something from a different dimension,
Right.
And
that's kind of how I got it as well.
But that's an interesting concept in itself, though.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this, like I feel like, I'll tell you what, I will give edibles one more try. And we need to have this conversation. And I need Lee involved in this conversation. You down?
We're gonna do edibles on the show. What are you talking about?
Okay, now you're up in the ante. I'm totally game with that. You understand this will either be the shortest podcast we record or the longest. Just telling you right now.
Oh, that's funny.
But no, like we should have an edible
Just
night.
a deep dive night.
No alcohol. Just
Right.
give me a fucking square and let's go hard in the paint.
I don't even
About the
like
Mandela
alcohol
effect?
anymore.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It-
What was that?
About the Mandela effect.
Oh, dude, we will go life in general. Like we'll go like deep, hard.
Wasn't
Like,
like,
let's just-
one of the Mandela effect things? Like there was like a movie with that comedian Sinbad that he was a
genie.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
never
and
happened.
That never existed.
I fucking remember
No.
that.
Yeah,
Okay. For real?
Yeah.
This is for real?
Yeah.
yeah,
No, absolutely.
yeah. It never existed.
Next, they're gonna
Oh
tell
my
me Shaq
gosh.
wasn't a genie.
Oh.
I know that motherfucker was a genie too.
Like, what was that movie?
Shazam.
No?
No, it wasn't
Wait.
Shazam.
No, that's not.
No, that's the new-
Shazam's
hero.
a new
Yeah.
superhero guy.
What was
Uh,
that? Lee, look that up. What's Shaq's genie?
Let's see.
I swear to God.
It is like a SH.
Hold on though. If this shit does not exist, I'm done, dude. I'm done.
Podcast is over.
I'm done. I'm gonna go get some shrooms, and I'm gonna go on a walkabout and figure this out.
Yeah.
You ever done shrooms?
Oh, it was called Kazam.
Okay, I knew something.
Kind of
Like
like
that.
Shazam.
But it's
Kazam.
Shaq.
Came out
Kazam.
in '96.
But it's Shaq though, right?
Yeah.
Shaq, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't crazy.
That was in the height of his day.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Have you ever done the shroom thing?
Yeah.
How? Like,
I've tried it.
What's your take on it?
Honestly, like, I just kind of like got visuals.
Okay, so you
Like-
got like the tree breathing and all that.
Well, I mean, I was like literally in my house,
Okay.
like just kind of hanging out and took a handful of them or whatever.
Okay.
And like the curtains are kind of swaying, doing their thing. And I was like, all right, that's kind of weird. But,
Did you ever trip bad or have
No.
to freak out?
No.
Okay.
and like, you know, you hear about like the ayahuasca and all
I
that
want to do
stuff.
that.
Yeah, I would be down for that. Like
I've
just
s-
trying like these different things where,
What is
Right.
that, like the native thing?
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's DMT, but like DMT.
No, I think it's not DMT. I think it's I have no idea.
My understanding is in order to make natural DMT, you have to take two different things, bring it together, and that's how you get the ayahuasca.
Okay.
Now you have
That
synthetic.
sounds about right.
You have synthetic DMT. Which
Okay.
anything synthetic is going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I always wanted like up until recently, I was actually like looking into it. Like I was like, damn, like I want to do ayahuasca.
I think you can here somewhere.
Yeah, but I want to go to the Amazon rainforest.
If you want to be like legit,
Yeah, like I'm scared.
that would be pretty cool.
So I'm scared to do it for two reasons. Number one, you shit yourself, and you actually do this for 4 nights in a row. Like the ceremony is 4 nights in a row.
I'm speechless.
So
I did not know this part.
okay, so when you drink this shit,
Okay, are you saying the one like down in the Amazon jungle?
yeah.
Is your shit in your pants?
so hold on. My understanding from a source that likes to do this shit all the time. He's the dude that the Mormon episode, and then I'll tell you. Hold on. He's done it here. He's never done it down there. And the one here, like part of the deal, like when they tell you, like as you're going through this, is like this will make you vomit, shit yourself, and piss yourself. And this ceremony is like every day for 4 nights. So like you sober up and come back and do it again for 4 nights.
Okay.
The reason why I don't want to do it here is because I don't want an Americanized version of this. Give me the real fucking deal.
Right.
Like, let's do this the right way.
Right.
So our HR manager, who funny enough is a staunch Mormon dude. He's done it.
Huh.
And he's like, I will never do it again, because when you get into that state of mind, you have no control over what's going on in your brain, but you have to stay relaxed the entire time.
Huh.
And he's like, when I lose control, I freak the fuck out. He's like, I did not like this.
Huh.
So when he's telling me that, most people are like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
I want to do it more.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't like shit. I don't like my own shit. I don't like smelling other people's shit. God forbid if I'm in a teepee and someone shits on my leg, I'm probably like done. Like, you just ruined my life.
See, I feel like if everybody did that, you would hear about it. I've never heard that.
You have to look it up. And then
We'll save that for the conspiracy episode.
yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that scares me about doing it is a life-altering deal. I like who I am as a person, and I like where I'm at in life, and I like, the circle of friends I have. This podcast stuff me and Lee are doing, and I love what's going on at work.
Right.
What scares me the most is if I do this and I lose any part of this, like my brain gets rewired, and like the things that are important now are no longer important later. That scares me, because in this moment of time, I'm happy and haven't been for a long time, but now I'm like actually happy. That's what scares me.
I don't know. I mean, I obviously I can't speak about it too much, but I would assume this is like so much, like I've heard a bunch of your episodes, and it's like your life, you love this thing, you want to see it grow, and I, here to support you, and I listen all the time, and I love it just as much. I'm like, dude, you're getting awesome at this, and I've told you about that, but just, I feel like that couldn't, like you have your, you're set, but maybe this happens, and maybe you're just like, oh, maybe like this aspect of my life opens. I don't know. It would be interesting to see, but I kind of understand your hesitation on it as well.
Like, I feel like if I went down that journey and then like I came back and changed, like would I change into a woman? I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. But no, like
this is Sean. This is the Sean I know. You have a going down the path, and all of a sudden, what the hell, Sean? What the hell?
Navy SEAL, baby.
Oh my
no, like there's that, but like the shroom thing, I didn't come across until later on in life. So the shroom bar that me and Lee did down in Fremont was very horrible.
Okay, when you say this shroom bar, what is this?
So
thing?
like
It was a candy bar.
yeah.
So like in chocolate?
Yeah.
Chocolate candy
Is it
bar.
like just the ones that like all these companies are coming up with that you can just go buy like at the
but we get them,
shops or whatever?
Yeah, we get them from Colby though. So take it for what it's worth.
Okay.
Let's just assume his shit's like top shelf.
Okay.
Okay. The last one I did was with Lee, and it was more of a body high. It was really disappointing because I really wanted to get like fucked up.
Right, like
life.
the stories you hear or whatever.
Right. So the last time I did this shit, I went camping. Actually, the same bar, like a week apart from each other. So the first time I did this, I was camping and pretty much did the edible thing. 1 square, didn't fill it, 2 square. I got to a point. I got to a point because I knew like I wasn't gonna trip the fuck out. I really wanted to experience this.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in a camp chair. I'm looking at the fire. Like you burn a log, you get like the black char, and then sometimes it turns white.
Yeah.
So on the ridge of this log, I know it's white. This shit's neon blue. So I know it's kicking in.
Right.
And it's coming in quick. And I'm enjoying this. I look up at the sky, and the sun's going down, and I know as the sun goes down, it's going to get darker. So then it gets dark, but the sky is still blue, like it's bright blue. So I'm like, okay, now I'm in like fear and loathing type
Right.
deal. So then next thing I know, something like in my brain hit me. I was just like, okay, I have something important to do.
Right.
I'm out in the middle of the desert. And I didn't know what it was. And I'm telling my buddy, I'm like, dude, something's wrong. Like, I gotta fucking do something.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, bro, sit down, chill. And
Right.
I'm like, no. Like, I want to go on a walkabout. And I like started walking. And then I think I ran out of breath like 10 steps in because I'm fat. No. Like I walked a little distance and then I realized like, okay, I'm good.
Right.
Got back to camp. I don't know what was said, but like my buddy says something. I start laughing. He starts laughing. We're crying laughing. So then I look over at him and he's just like, I'm like, why are you crying? And he's like, don't look at me. I'm hideous. And I fucking lose it. So I'm like laughing. Like, so I'm experiencing all this emotional shit.
Right.
And then I sit back in the camp chair and he's got a 4Runner like I do. And so there's the camp chair, the fire, and then his 4Runners on the other side. And I'm looking at his 4Runner and I watch this thing sink into the sand, like where the tire is like halfway and then it shoots right off the ground. And I'm like, this is badass. And I'm looking at the trees and they're breathing and like I'm having a good time. Go to bed, done deal.
Right.
1 week later, with the other half of the shroom bar, I had such a great experience. I'm like, I'm going to experience this again at home.
Right.
Empty stomach,
Okay.
popping them like Skittles.
Uh-huh.
Next thing you know, same feeling hit me like I got to do something important. So you know the Smith's down where your old house is at by the Wendy's? So I drove down to that Smith's. It was just down the street from me.
Okay.
Because, God damn it, I wanted some fucking broccoli and ranch. So I go in.
Broccoli.
Dude, I'm just telling you, this is real. Like, I'm being real. Like,
What time is this?
Oh, it's at night. I mean, it's probably like 8 or 9 at night.
Okay. So not too late. You're not like doing a Smith's run at like 2 a.m. for
No,
broccoli
we're
and
not
ranch.
doing, like, not the beer run days.
Okay.
So I walk into this Smith's on a fucking mission. And I literally felt like I'm just like walking up the aisles like, where's this fucking broccoli and ranch? Like, finally find it. I'm like, okay, good. I get in line. So that Smith's has like the stencil animals on the walls.
Right.
And they're safari. And I'm watching these motherfuckers walk.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, I got to keep it together because I got to drive back to the house. But I'm like really like feeling it. So I get back to the house, no problem. Probably ate like maybe 1 or 2 broccoli and ranch things, and that was it. Wasted it.
Right.
So now I'm bored. So I get the iPad out, put on a movie. Word of advice, don't ever watch the last 2 Harry Potters on shrooms. It will ruin you fucking forever. So typical Harry Potter movie, like in the beginning, it's like, oh, haha, like everything's great. Jokes are cracked. And so like I can hear myself laughing, but it's like, oh. And then something bad happens.
Oh no.
And then I end up in the corner of the bedroom, like curled up on my bed in a ball, freaking the fuck out.
Oh my gosh.
And this goes on for 2 full movies.
Oh.
And then I'm like literally watching on the iPad and I see like Harry's eye just start dripping down his face. And I'm just like, okay, I'm fucked up.
Right.
So I'm like, I got to piss.
Yeah.
So I get up. I'm so scared to stand up and piss. I piss like a chick on this go round. So I'm sitting on the toilet, you know, tinkling, and I look down at the rug, and then the rug starts to move. And like, I am not joking. The universe aligned at that point. And I remember looking at the rug and I'm all, you, I know you. And then I get this sensation of, I'm going to do big things in life. I'm going to cure cancer. I'm going to help people. And like, this was like that important feeling I had when I was camping.
Right.
Then I go back to watching Harry Potter, freaking the fuck out, then laughing, then freaking the fuck out, then passing out, and then realizing that was not good.
Right.
I would still do it again. That's like, guaranteed.
And I totally believe you. Absolutely. Except for we need to watch, I've literally never watched any Harry Potter movie.
Dude,
Like,
you were missing out.
am I though? Am I?
No, you really are. That's a good story. Like, you should definitely go to your dad's house and do the Atmos thing. And
Oh,
watch
so just like 20 hours straight of
Yeah.
Everybody bought her
No,
one
you-
after the other.
You got to break it up because you got
Oh.
shit to do. But I will tell you this: I have no kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know the best movie on earth?
What?
So I don't cry. There's nothing that would make me cry in real life. A fucking Disney movie will kill me.
Bro, you have no idea.
Frozen
And
And Frozen
that's your
2.
cry movie?
and Frozen 2.
Both of them made you cry?
Yeah. And The Little Mermaid.
Okay. So, funny story. We took and maybe I've told you this before, but whatever.
You and Katie were on a good kick there for a while.
So, took an edible,
Okay.
and we started a family movie.
Okay.
Now that I'm starting to tell the story, I literally cannot remember the name of the movie, but the kid, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Explain the movie.
So they're out playing in the ice. The ice breaks. He goes under.
Is it Mighty Ducks?
No, Sean, typical Sean here.
Go on.
And he goes under for like 20 minutes, and
Yeah.
kids run in screaming, and they rescue him from the ice. And he was underwater for like 13 minutes. And this is all based on true story, whatever. Take him to the hospital. Mom's like praying and all this stuff.
I know what you're talking. I can't remember
Dude,
the movie. I'd never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you what. Our girls were watching the movie in the room or whatever, and me and Katie sitting there on the couch and just look at each other.
Tears.
Tears like coming down our face, and the girls stop like, "Are you guys okay?" And we're like, "Oh, like that's pretty rough."
Kaya's like, you guys
Because
are
the kid
pussies.
comes back, the kid comes back to life, obviously. But just like, oh my gosh. But one recently, really good movie, and I recommend this for like everyone and their families and stuff can watch it too. Flamin' Hot.
Really?
It's on Disney Channel or Disney Plus or whatever. But it's the story of the Flamin' Hot Cheeto.
Really?
Like how it.
But is it a cartoon?
No.
Oh, it's just the story.
So it's it's just based on true events. But
So how does it make you cry other than when you eat it?
no, it was
Didn't
like a good story.
Hispanic guy come up with it.
Yeah, and kind of pitched it to, because Pepsi is like all part of the same Frito-Lay thing.
Yeah.
He kind of pitched it to his bosses, and they're like, yeah, whatever. And then he somehow sent bags to like the main guy of Pepsi. He tasted it and was like,
This is
let's
amazing.
give this a shot.
Yeah.
This is good. And so they ran it like just in their little, spoiler. I'm just telling the whole movie,
Very
but
good.
they ran it in their little department in California. And, it's not doing very well. We're going to cancel it. And, towards the end of the movie, he's like, let's get these bags out to our people. And, because, it was kind of like the branding and everything. They're like, it's not. That's why, because they're trying to sell it in grocery stores. It's not selling. Like, let's get it out to our people in the streets and stuff. So they just started filling up all their cars and stuff and just handing them out.
Really?
And he, it took off. And then they started... Like that plant just kept making more and more for that area, and it just grew and grew.
So was that Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
Yeah. Well, because it's a whole brand now. It's on Ruffle. It's like on all the chips.
I just remember them getting big when they used the leopard in their commercials.
Yeah.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I remember.
Like my girls, they love Flamin' Hot stuff. Like the Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
They're probably like those. Like what are they? They're not taquitos, but they're like super
the Takis.
Takis. Yeah, I bet they
Kaya
love that
loves
shit.
those.
I bet.
Kaya loves those. And it's funny. She's ever since she was like 3 or 4 one time, like Katie had Flamin' Hot in the back, and she looked back and Kaya's face was red, hands were red, and
Loving life.
she loved those things. So even now, and I don't think it was just Katie and I that watched it, but man, we're like, man, we should have had the kids here to watch this, and they would have loved that.
What you should have done is give your kids an edible and see if they cried during that movie.
Sean,
I'm totally.
This is why he has no kids.
Totally
This is
kidding.
why he's-
I'm totally kidding. Lee, do you ever cry in movies? Like, do they ever like?
Oh yeah.
What's the last movie that made you cry?
Rob Peace that we watched at Sundance. It's a true story.
That's the ones that get
This,
you
like,
for sure.
super smart guy from New Jersey that went to Yale, but his dad got convicted of murder that he didn't do, and he had to like sell drugs and do all this type of stuff. Like the crazy thing is, like, we knew the ending. We knew at the end that he dies.
Yeah.
But still, when he dies, like, I got teary-eyed, I got all emotional.
Right.
It was a really good movie.
Huh.
Lee, I feel like
I'll have to check that out.
I feel like you're like, because you're a dog dude, you know, like you care about dogs, like you care about your dog, right?
Right.
You should take an edible and watch 13 Below.
Well,
13 Below.
Yeah, that's the one with Paul Walker, and he's got the snow dogs, and they have to leave them there, and then like they like survive.
what about Marley and Me?
Dude,
I've seen Marley and
That's a pretty. If you're a
That-
dog, that's
Jennifer
a.
Aniston,
intense
right?
show.
Yeah, it is.
Dude, that's a bad one.
I love shows and movies. Like, God forbid, it takes me 2 or 3 nights to finish one because
Right.
I'm falling asleep. You know,
Yeah,
when we're
yeah.
every time if we start a movie past like 9:30, I'm definitely a movie. I can
Right.
do like hour episode or whatever, but movies, man, I am passing out. But I love watching all the new stuff like Ex Machina. Have you guys ever seen that?
Which one's that?
So it's where it's like a robot, and
Oh, yeah.
this kid comes in and he's like his job is just to kind of interact with the AI robot that this guy created.
And the robot tricks him.
I like honestly, I
No.
wouldn't want to spoil it because it is literally an amazing movie and you should watch
You
it.
can spoil it
It's awesome.
because
I love
I'll
it.
tell you this
Great
right
movie.
now.
Yeah.
If you don't send me the name of these movies, I will eventually watch them just going through Disney Plus. Like
This one's not Disney Plus.
I'm just saying, like in general, like I have this thing where I'm like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of action movies. I don't want to watch anything on YouTube. Nothing on TV sounds great. Disney's awesome, and I'll the vaults and the old shit.
Right.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Love
Well, having the baby girl, Disney Plus is always on. So
it. Yeah. How is the baby girl?
she's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be 2 in June, but
Are you fucking kidding?
yeah.
Dude,
2
I
in
remember
June.
when Katie was pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it probably was after the McGregor. There was probably another time after that McGregor fight that we hung out.
Maybe it was.
But anyway, yeah, she's so cute. I love that little girl. And our older girls, help take care of her
Yeah.
and do her hair and stuff. So she's always like got little pigtails and little ponies and stuff. But
It's a good life experience for your girls, though. Like,
yeah.
Keep it real. Don't do that shit. You
Right.
don't want one of these right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, to me, that'd be cool to have that kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. We love it.
We'll kind of wrap this up
Mm-hmm.
or not.
Dude, I feel like we could just talk forever.
We can keep
Jeez.
going. I mean,
Oh.
I don't give a shit. I'll bring something up.
Yeah.
You kind of scared me when I reached out to you and like confirmed if you were good to record. Because you're like, I got all this shit going on in my life.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Family stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got, like I mentioned earlier, kids in school, and balance of running a business and, relationship with your wife. Like, 100%. Like,
Well, you were.
and you hear everybody say it, but don't like ever stop dating your wife.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
Like all that stuff.
It's-
There's a lot of balance. You gotta. Okay, I can only do so much in a day, and
I would say this because we actually kind of talked about it with the girls on that Valentine's Day deal, and I look back on my marriage on the mistakes I made, and this is what I always tell people: relationships are 50-50. They're 50 good and 50 bad. Like if it doesn't work out, and I will never talk bad about the ex-wife.
right.
I had found out some shit later on in life that confirmed suspicions. But again, I'm a big believer, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I could not be the person I am today had I not done the divorce
Experienced that.
thing, you know?
Right.
So, but I also know too, because I deal with this every day in my life, you and I kind of built the same where if we have some type of trial or tribulation in our life, we don't usually openly talk about it. We push that shit down. And
Literally, my wife's probably
right. She's going
when
to,
she's listening, they're like, "Oh, here's Mike." Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
and I,
100%.
and I to this day do the same thing.
Yep.
And unfortunately, if you have for me, when I had a string of bad luck, whether it was shit at work, relationship shit, or just not happy with general direction of life, I would push it all down. But then what would, like, it would trigger me to go do things that I really shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
And get me into things that I definitely didn't, shouldn't be doing. And one of the things that, like, I used as a crutch was alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Like, full on, like, I was bad there for a while. It was like the first year working at my current company. I would leave, like, I was so fucking stressful. Like, our GM left in the middle of our busy season.
Right.
And, like, everyone turned towards me to run this thing. So, like, I would get there at, like, 6 a.m. and I would leave at, like, 7 or 8 at night, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go home because, like, I'm too ramped up at that point. So what I would do is I would take my laptop with me to work, and then I would leave, and then I would always tell myself, go sit down, get you something to eat, maybe have a beer, and then go home and do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It never went that way.
Right.
So I would go to the bar, I would eat, I'd get my laptop out, I'd have one beer, one would turn into 9,
Mm-hmm.
and then followed by like 5 or 6 shots of whiskey.
Jeez.
Then I would drive home, sleep for 3 hours,
Right.
get up and do it all over again.
Yep.
And then it just got to the point where it was like muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do it. I felt weird if I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, the social aspect of it, like, I was like in an episode of Cheers. Like,
Yeah,
everyone
because
knew,
you're in the bar and you're meeting
100%.
new people every day.
and you're spending money like crazy.
Right.
Like, if on a good night, I would, with tip, drop $150 a night. Multiple times a week.
Right.
And, like, it just got to the point where it was too much.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize I had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then a good friend of mine who was the warehouse manager at the time, I literally, like, feel bad for this, but, like, it was the perfect storm. He was going through shit. I was going through shit. And here are two miserable people colliding to drink and have fun. And I literally watched his whole marriage melt away.
Oh, goodness.
Luckily for him, like, she ended up staying and they worked it out.
Good.
But I remember, like, this went on for like a year and a half, almost straight. And I don't know what it was, like, maybe intuition, maybe call it whatever you want. But I remember waking up one day and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And it took a lot of willpower to really cut it back because I was so used to just the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I really, like, for me, anything I do is like 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything else. So I knew I had to just stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, doing the golf thing, it was really easy
Takes
to
you
drink.
out of that.
Oh,
right.
dude. And, like, to this day, like, I have my battles with alcohol, but I'm to a point now where, like, I don't crave it.
Mm-hmm.
When I drink it, I can control it. You
Right.
know, I'm not drinking to get fucked up. Like,
Right.
I'm just having a
Yeah,
beer.
just socialize or
Just-
whatever.
I feel like I can be normal, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I can't quit, and I don't know why, I've tried, it's the hardest thing ever, is fucking chewing. It's so bad. I commend you for quitting. I don't know how you did it,
Right.
but, like, if I don't have that dip in my mouth,
It's kind of like an on and off thing. Like,
Okay.
I'll literally go through phase and, like, oh.
but I commend you for being able to stop for periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, it's to the point where I'll tell myself, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And then I'll go eat.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I need to chew.
Okay. So here's a thing though.
Okay.
Like, instead of getting because where do you go get your chew?
7-Eleven
Okay.
or Maverick.
What else are you going in there for?
Nothing.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what, like,
Oh, on paper, it's simple.
right. And then that's kind of what I'll do. I'm like, yeah, I get my gas at Costco just because it's right there by my house.
Right.
I have no reason to go in a gas station.
You don't ever go into Costco, get a hot dog for $2.50?
It's $1.50.
Okay, whatever.
And yes, we actually did that the other week. Just
Best meal ever.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, cheapest. Yeah.
And now, you know what they have now? Like the big chocolate chip cookies.
Oh,
like kind of like a
you're killing me, man.
crumble thing. You know, like crumble cookies and all those
Yeah.
cookie places.
Oh, yeah.
Costco does like a big cookie for like $2.50.
Shout out to Costco. Fat people hate you.
Good stuff at Costco.
So no, like I get your thinking on that.
Right.
But what if I have to get gas? Then I got to
go to Costco.
But no, like
Walmart has their they're doing little gas stations now. I don't know.
But it's not
it's just a willpower thing, right?
It is.
I feel like 100%. it's a
but you know how
habit thing too.
Yes.
You probably do it every day you drive to work, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, and that day when you don't have, you're like, oh man, or maybe you ran out the night before.
I turn into like a werewolf. Like I get mean if I don't have it. And I hate that feeling.
I've noticed too. I get a little snappy.
Yeah.
For a few days, and then like that couple of days or whatever. But yeah, I've kind of off and on every now and then.
Like my dad will call me and I'll answer the phone. He'll be like, "Hey, Sean," I'll be like, "Fuck you." Not that bad. Not that bad. But no, like someone who, again, competitive with myself.
Yeah.
Kills me that I can't kick this shit.
Right.
So I'm either like to the point where I'm like, I just have to do it. Or me and Jim Kelly are going to be relatives. Like we're going to be jawless people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, like anyway, the good part of like the stop drinking thing was it got you out of situations for all the other stuff that comes with it too. And it allowed me to like focus on like this stuff. And it was kind of crazy because I grew up, I didn't feel I had a creative bone in my body. And then one day I'm just like, let's do the podcast.
Yeah.
And then the guy that I work with was like, yeah, I'll help you.
Right.
And then it's turned into what it is now. So that evolution's been kind of cool too.
That's like even with my social media, like I'm not like super, I wasn't like super active on it, just kind of, I'm an observer, right? Just kind of get on there and see what everyone else is doing. As running this business and having this business, I'm like,
but you have to have that.
Yeah. But now it's like, okay, I know like my stuff right now, I'm over there editing, I'm saving drafts, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to post. It looks like crap. But I'm like, if I don't, like I know it's going to get better.
Right.
That's why we just got to keep working on these same things. It's only going to get better. Like I know you always talk about SLC Foodie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I remember, when he first started doing his thing too. And it's like now every other reel, I'm like, oh, there's Chase again. It's awesome. He does a great job of that. But I'm sure if he looks back at his old stuff, he'd be like, man, what was I doing? And you just kind of learn and grow from there. So
I was there in the beginning.
That's what I'm excited about.
Like I was there in the beginning. Like we would go out to eat and he'd like bust the light out, like the ring light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you
probably
doing?
Embarrassed or whatever. Yeah. But he's like, yeah, whatever. This is fine.
He's like, no, it's good. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Which is cool, dude. I think that's like the coolest page ever.
It is. Though.
Yeah.
Like he's so good at it.
He is.
And like,
that's what we're all here to, I think like literally everyone has like something to offer.
But do you feel now though, like that you've created this business, like you have a lane that you're good at.
Yes.
And you are like talented at it and you're good with people in general anyway, to where you finally feel like whatever happened in your past, you were meant for bigger and better things.
Oh yeah.
So like, this is what me and Lee talk about all the time. And then the other thing we talk about is right place, right time, right people. So like on our end, we have 3 people who are non-ego driven at all.
Right.
So like I told Lee, I was like, you want me to play in one of your shorts or whatever, I'll do it. 100%.
Yeah.
But I'll also I'll hold the microphone behind the scenes too. You just tell me what you need me to do.
Right.
Yeah. And then like, Lee's back here, switching cameras, and this is not like what a true like producer would do. He wants to like, the different camera angles, the live action stuff, the things he sees in his head he wants to put in action. But he's here like doing this every single weekend we do this.
Right.
And then we have Jaden, who does the video editing and everything. And he's also like the techie guy. So as we went through like version 75.3 of this whole fucking setup, he's there along the way. But what's cool is like we're on a group text. We all have a bunch of ideas. We all bring up issues. Like right now we have an audio issue that we're trying to fix. But there's no ego involved.
Yeah.
Like with your guy, you're in like no ego, right? Because he's your buddy.
Yeah.
He's the ice cream guy when we got high. Yeah. Like, he's a good dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he runs his own. He's a general contractor, so he does houses. So that's kind of some of this side work stuff I've been doing, like the carpentry stuff. But
does he like feed you leads too? Like,
yeah, I mean, we're kind of, he'll reach out to his people, and I'm out there, knocking doors and whatever to get my. So, he just kind of he's like, dude, I see all this potential in you, and instead of working for this guy, and he doesn't want, because that's kind of where I ran into. I was working, at a place, and hey, like, I want to push this more. This is all you brought me over here to do.
Right.
I left a job where I had a truck and, salary, and I didn't have to worry about, showing up from 8 to 5, and I could kind of.
How fucking miserable were you?
NPC.
I remember.
NPC. There was times I'm driving home banging. I'm like, yeah, I run that last 3 lights. Like, I don't even remember passing those lights, and that was a daily thing.
Like, I remember having conversations with you on some of the shady shit going on, and you're like, I don't think I could do this. Like, I don't want to be pinned on. Like, it was.
I just feel like safety in general. Like, who shows up to work and wants to get hurt?
Right.
But then when somebody does get hurt, it's like, you're going to do anything you can to not have that. Oh, he was on drugs or he did this. It's like just that whole industry. I get everyone wants to be safe. Like, I used to ask the question, who wants to get hurt today?
Yeah.
Nobody ever said yes. But, like these guys do stupid stuff. You stand on the top of a ladder that literally tells you don't stand on the top of a ladder.
Literally.
You get hurt. But, it's like, man, it's just kind of I don't know. I was never like, that wasn't me. Like, I was selling safety, and then going home and stand on the top of a ladder. Yeah. But, it just, I don't know. This is really like, and like I said, I've like had 3 jobs my whole life, and I've finally like, this is me, and I literally have to rely on me.
Right. What I love though, like, because I could see the ambition and like I could see the social media stuff, and I think it's cool to watch someone I'm close with venture out and do something like almost similar to kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then to be able to like have you as a guest and come on and like shoot the shit.
Right.
And then us support you in any way possible.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean?
And same.
And like with Eric, we had Eric on, and he's really hard doing the real estate thing. That's a tough business.
Oh yeah.
Like your brother-in-law, like he's good at it.
Yeah.
But he's got like tenure.
Right.
And I feel like, especially in today's market, like if you flip the switch,
I think he started at a good time too. So
Eric did, or Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah. But I feel like everyone knows someone who is a real estate agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, my family member is a real, it's like,
right.
Am I going to help him or, family first, right? It's kind of hard. Like when you have so many people, it's like everybody and their dog is a realtor,
But what's cool on your end though is like, I own a lighting company. Not many people do that.
No.
That's a really like narrow market.
Yeah.
And so like some of the stuff like me and Lee have talked about is like when I tell people we have a podcast. Oh, well, what's different about yours? There's a million of them out there. Watch.
Yeah.
Watch. Just
who cares?
Even if you don't like the language, just watch the show. It's entertaining. Right. But like doing market research back when I was just doing the audio stuff. Name one podcast that's super popular in the state of Utah.
What's that? Crime one. There's some crime.
Okay. Crime is a huge deal.
Yeah.
And like this is like when me and Lee started getting together and doing this, he would ask me all the time, like, do you do research on the guests? And I always say no, unless it's a very technical thing.
Yeah.
Because this is an easy thing for me to do. And I don't mind like carrying the show is what he put it, which kind of made me nervous at first. But how many crime shows are there? What separates them?
Yeah.
Very little to nothing.
Right. Whatever story catches your attention.
Right. So if you love crime stuff, and there's nothing against that, like, and you're entertained literally learning about people killing other people and like the intricate details and like the detective stuff and whatever.
Right.
That is great. I think that's awesome. You want true fucking entertainment? Watch this show.
Oh yeah.
Watch like a Joe Rogan show.
Well, yeah. It's
Watch
just like the variety,
Theo
like,
Vaughn.
and who cares what anyone else think? This is you. This is like your extension, and you're driving the conversation. I think this is
it's
way
fun
cool.
though.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
But I get like people all the time. They're like, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm like, don't be nervous.
Oh,
Just you and I'll drive
Right.
this thing.
right.
And like, it's just fun.
Oh,
you know?
for sure.
And we truly believe this will be something.
Yeah.
But we also believe like all of the stuff we're going to do is going to be something.
Yep.
We don't know which one's
Well,
going to.
there's no reason to do it if you don't.
Right. But we don't know which one's going to hit first.
Yeah.
But we know when that one hits, it's going to carry the rest of them.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, anyway, it's cool to see childhood friends grow up and do big things.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree. You know, when you started this, you know, like, hey, listen, and, you know, listen, and, you know, it kind of fell off there for a second. Then I saw you bringing it back. I'm like, okay, he's doing this, you know, and like, and I know you reached out to me the first time, like, hey, just come on. I'm like, dude, nobody wants to hear from just a
right.
dad with 4 kids, you know, what do I do?
Right.
But now it's like, you know, I'm trying to do some things too. So, you know, and supporting Eric, you know, help everyone. You're just kind of a big network, and I think it's awesome.
Like, it bugs me with people we know that I've like seen on social media that are still fucking hating.
Yeah.
Like, why are you hating?
I know. I don't get that either.
Why do you put energy in something so negative? It's
That's
so bad for you.
That's the other thing. Like, you can take it 2 ways. Like, you can take all the, you know, if you have 1,000 comments on your, you know, story or whatever it is, and half of them are bad and half of them are good, they're talking.
Right.
Who cares? As long as somebody's talking.
All publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, that's how, you know, recently I've been the same way. Like, man, as long as they're talking about you, like, who cares?
But what would be cool though is like, you know, take like Chase for an example. Like, when I look at what he does and I look at the tools he uses to do it, like, he has perfected a craft.
Yeah.
What would be cool is like, even though like at times you and him didn't get along, but 2 business owners coming together and like him, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what would be even better is to do it on a show like this.
Right.
And where you, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then,
And just like you said, like pulling out that Ring camera in the middle of a restaurant or whatever. You know, the one night I'm out there off the side of my house taking pictures of my own house with the lights on it. And, you know, Kay's like, oh, this is kind of weird, huh? I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Like, who cares? We got to do this, you know? It's like, this is, I don't care what, you know, Harry just driving by right now thinks. Like, we're doing this for ourselves, you know, and helping out our business. So, you know, I'll stand wherever. I don't care, you know, or I'll pull out a camera or do whatever content I got to make.
like, I don't know if you've ever got this feeling quite yet, and we get it all the time, but it's where we're at in this situation. It's almost funny, the shit that falls in our lap to where, like, you know, 1 week I'm struggling to get people booked, and then with like a snap of a finger, I'm 2 months out.
Yeah.
And it just happens. It's like, holy shit. And then like, we'll be in here talking and kind of game planning for all the other stuff. And then it's, you know, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. We'll walk out the door. We run into the pastor. He's showing us around on his place. He wants us to do sound. He wants him to do the video, like purchasing all the cameras. They now want to rent this space to do their own podcast.
That's cool.
The lighting thing that is coming your way. Like,
And I do need to say, like, there is other things we can do with these lights. Like, there's floodlights and stuff like that. But I've been thinking there's a few different ways that I can use these lights. Like, there's they give them to us from the manufacturer. We can buy them, but like little deck caps. So like, so if you're like building a deck, you can, like, on the steps, they'll just drill like this hole and you put the cap and your light will snap in the back. So they kind of, and I have like some pictures on that type of stuff, but you know, just like a whole thing, like, okay, your OnlyFans girl, that was on here, her just because I listened to that today, she said lighting's everything. I found the right lighting, and then my video started, or my picture started taking off. I was like, lighting, you know, like we all require lights, right? No.
Like, I remember
I'm like totally nerding out on this lighting guide thing, so
you like
going over the top.
No, but I think you're in the right. No, it's good though. You geek out to it, which you should, because you should become the subject matter expert. Yeah. But like, when we kind of got this studio set up and like he's busting out the big light, I'm like a fucking vampire. I'm like, I don't notice it anymore, but like,
right.
He, like, Lee knows his shit.
That is cool.
But then, like, you know, what I say, like, sometimes it's funny how things just fall in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had you booked.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad at them last week. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, this guy that's coming on, he's a good friend of mine. He's got his own lighting company. That little thing, this pastor went off. He's like, oh, yeah, we're going to do all this outdoor stuff. Give me his number. Want to talk to him.
Nice.
Like, it's funny how this thing falls in.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, like, there's countless other examples I could give you. Like the Zeke episode we did.
Right.
I knew Zeke because Zeke used to work for me at the last company.
Uh-huh.
And I knew he's into fighting, and this has always been his dream. And then he finally got to a spot in life where he can go professional, make money, and really try to make a run at the UFC.
Right.
From that one interview, I landed the CEO of Fierce, Zach
Yep.
Partridge.
Yep.
Awesome dude.
Yeah, that was a good podcast.
Then I get the heavyweight,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have another guy coming on, I think next week. Lee, is that right?
Cool.
I'd never met this dude,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also an amateur fighter, and saw the episode of Zeke.
Nice.
Zeke gave him my number, and he reaches out to me directly about wanting to come on and tell his story.
Because they want to sell their tickets and put their name out there too.
Yeah.
Like just like the Sean O'Malley. Like,
Yeah.
You know him, right?
Yeah.
Dude, like his following is huge, you know, and he all just from, you know, podcasts and just putting himself out there. It's like, well, and I'm sure his hair helps,
Right.
you know, that color hair, but
The pink.
yeah, but like just guys like that, you know, like totally getting after it and, you know, building a brand for themselves. Even as a fighter, there's always something you
Right.
can be doing.
But what I love about doing like this is there's always like these small little degrees of separation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I was telling you about the local guy who records with Post.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to land a Post Malone. If
Right.
I got that, this thing would explode.
Oh yeah.
And I think like having him here, like him and I could have a really funny conversation.
Right.
That would be a dream.
Just don't end up in the corner because he took too many mushrooms with that guy.
Yeah. He's like, dude, the fucking lion's talking to me. But like, he has a guy that works for him who has two beautiful daughters.
Uh-huh.
One of them is a jazz dancer.
Huh.
And the other one's a cheerleader for the U.
Cool.
So it's like, you can kind of navigate this thing, and it's almost stupid, like how funny it is when it happens. You know, like one of the goals I talked about was I want to get an OnlyFans model.
Uh-huh.
I know the girl personally.
Uh-huh.
She used to work at the bar I used to go get hammered at all the time.
Huh.
And then like, you know, we start hitting production and all this stuff. And then I see a picture one day of her advertising herself. And I'm
Right.
just like, I'm going to go for it.
Huh.
And I'm just like, hey, how are you? Haven't talked to you in a while. Do you want to come on the podcast, talk about your OnlyFans?
Cool.
And then it just snowballed from there.
Right.
But just that energy alone landed me my second OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And those universes don't
Don't
collide.
even know each other.
It's crazy, dude.
Huh.
I
is cool.
want to see that for you though.
Right.
You know, like if I could do anything to like unlock, you know, a market that you're not even thinking about yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like let's say this works out.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you know, like the Hispanic community is really tight and he knows a bunch of business owners.
Right.
Next thing you know, you might be booked out a month.
Right.
And
I mean, even on businesses, these, you know, I see a bunch out here, like all the swigs
yeah,
out by me.
Yeah.
They start having these lights going around. So if you're in the commercial world, you know,
Right.
attract more attention to your business, especially, and once again, nerding out on the light guy thing,
you're
but
good.
I'm driving down the road. I'm like, I barely even know that thing's over there. That little hole in the wall
Right.
restaurant or that little drink shop or whatever it may be, right? Like throw lights on it. And all of a sudden everyone's like, hey, what's that over there? I've never noticed that before.
Right.
You know, and all of a sudden your door starts
But it's
opening up.
Like for me though, it's like if that worked out for you,
Mm-hmm.
which then got you into the door with like, you know, the Hispanic community, which
Yeah.
is a very tight community,
Right.
and you became successful and then it started like spreading like wildfire.
That's usually what happens.
I just want you to be successful. Come back and tell me about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Oh,
don't
for
want
sure.
anything in return.
Right.
Like I want people that I care about like uplifted, doing big
Same.
things. And if I
Same.
can help anyone do it, I'm all about it.
Absolutely.
So
I totally agree.
yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean,
No.
this is the longest one officially.
Is it?
Yeah, we're 2 hours 50 in.
Wow.
We're on the Rogan level now.
That for sure.
Pretty
And it
easy.
seriously seems like an hour.
No,
Like,
dude, I know.
Time has flown by.
It's crazy. And we didn't even touch on like the stuff that like we have in common,
Right.
and that you and Lee have in common. So I'll end it on this, but this is really cool. You and I growing up have always liked some of the same teams.
Uh-huh.
But you always had this ability to like a team that I fucking hated. Lee has that same ability.
Good job, Lee.
We have like all rival
Yeah.
So
I like it though.
teams. Yeah.
So like Duke, North Carolina came up. I know you and I are Dukies.
Yeah.
He's a North Carolina fan.
Yeah.
College football, both Utes fans, Gator fan, Canes fan.
Canes?
Yeah, I'm Canes, Dolphins.
It's weird how,
and Heat.
and I always get that too. Like, how do you like Florida State? You know, like, I'm like, oh, no, just
How
I
did
needed a national team that was like in the spotlight. And at the time when
Looking back on it, how did you not like him?
right,
How did you not?
right.
I hate him for reasons on my own. But
Well, and I got to say this because have you noticed, or recently they just announced NCAA 25?
yes,
Oh my, and that's like me and you. That's like
I do.
how we like
Okay.
first connected was like NCAA. He'd be running Nebraska wishbone
Yep.
left and right, and I would be on like some other team just trying to figure out how to stop it. But
But then
that's
like,
what got me into college football to begin with. So
Yeah.
I'll just blame you.
so I know you have a PlayStation 5, right?
That's Titans. Just
Okay,
no.
so I know you.
Yeah, we have a PlayStation 5.
Okay, I don't game out that much.
Right.
Like I have a couple computer games when I'm bored, or
Yeah.
maybe doing shrimp. No, I secretly have a PlayStation 5. So when the day comes,
When that game's
It's-
like the old days.
yes, we're gonna
Oh,
take a trip
that's
down
funny.
memory lane.
Heck yeah. And we got to do UFC 300.
We could do it here.
We got to watch that somewhere. And you're always my big fight UFC guy that I always.
Is that the next one?
Yeah,
No, it'll be. So the next one's O'Malley and
99, right?
Vera. Yeah. Next one's 299. Then in
And that one.
April will be
Which-
UFC 300.
Could be Connor, maybe.
No.
Is it
Nope.
official?
So it's, you know, the guy that Adesanya. Oh, I can't even remember his name right now, but him and Adesanya knocked each other out.
Okay.
Um,
Adesanya barely won though, right?
well,
Didn't he get up?
yeah, he beat him in the last one.
But I mean, like when they knocked each other out, didn't one of them get up to win?
Oh no, I mean like so the first fight Adesanya lost the belt to him,
Oh, they went.
and then
one
the
for-
next
okay.
fight
So they went one for
Adesanya
one.
won his belt
So
back.
they have the trilogy.
No, so he's moved up a weight division,
Oh.
and so
okay.
he's fighting the guy that got hurt that had the belt or whatever. But there's from the top fight down to the
It's like a
prelims
killer
is
card.
insane because it's 300. Everyone wants to be on that card.
So we will do, like we should probably do something here, but if you do something at your house, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll bring the shrooms. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. But no, like, so let's plan that though. Like,
Yeah.
come back.
Not 2 years later.
No.
Okay.
Come back.
2 months.
Let's hear. Like, I want to see. Like, tell me what you got going on in your business.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about NCAA 25 when it comes out, and then of course we got UFC 300,
Gotcha.
and then the other part we have coming I haven't told you yet is we will start recording me pranking people. Like this is a done deal.
That's why I asked when I was driving in here. I'm like, just like a punk situation, bro. You're making me go in this
You're like
parking lot thing.
Ashton. And you pull
Everyone's
up.
always sketched out.
I know. I'm like, are you sure?
Like this.
I literally asked him as I'm coming down the ramp. You sure I'm supposed to be coming down here? Am I getting punked?
But here's what's best about this location. You know where it's at now, right?
Yeah.
Go hop on the fucking tracks. Go up to a Utes game. It's 3 stops up.
Oh yeah.
You know
right
what I
there.
mean?
Yeah.
and
Perfect.
it's hidden where you can get parking every time.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Hard to beat.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're ever downtown, like you can park here. Like
Yeah.
Right. After hours because
Right. No,
not being used.
Anytime.
Let's go.
Anytime.
yeah, you're good down there.
Huh.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Like a hidden gem.
Yeah, for sure.
because remember when the church by the baseball fields was like the hidden gem
Church.
coming off of Foothill? There was like a church next. It's the
Yeah.
softball fields.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying that at the
Up
tailgate.
on the other side, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like you would walk through tailgate.
We still always, every time we go to Utes game, we'd still cruise through there just to see if there's something open.
Well, that's always a shit show.
Right.
Good shit show.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like now you
Here,
got
just hit
this.
right here. Yeah.
So
Good old football season.
you doing tickets again this year?
Nah,
No.
I don't know. It's hard with the baby. find a sitter every other Saturday, and but maybe down the road as they get a little bit older.
I won't say on my end because there's a certain someone that will just probably hang themselves, but I'll tell you after kind of the whole thing. It's not what you think, but it's kind of funny. Lee, you got anything you want to add?
I just kind of been going down this little rabbit hole of this Mandela effect.
Okay.
Just looking on my phone.
Oh, well, I'm working.
I like it.
So do you guys remember I Love Lucy?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you guys ever remember like Ricky Ricardo like crossing his arms and saying, "Lucy, you have some splaining to do"?
Yes.
Yeah.
He never said that ever.
What?
Oh my.
That's what this. Yeah.
Bro,
They're doing something.
I Love Lucy was my mom who passed away's like favorite show. So
Right. It was always
I
like
do
on the
recall that.
reruns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I recall him saying that too. That never happened.
So
ever.
what's the other one they got on there?
So like life is like a box of chocolates. He never says that. He says
Bullshit.
life
On Forrest Gump?
was like a box of chocolates.
Life-
He never says.
Wait, what was it?
So
We all remember as life is like a box of chocolates,
Yeah.
but he says life was like a box of chocolates.
which makes no sense at all, but that's Forrest and he's half retarded. So.
And do you remember a peanut butter
Jiffy.
Jiffy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was never Jiffy
It was
ever.
Jif.
It was always been just Jif.
I've always known
Oh,
it as Jiffy.
Yeah, I just knew Jif.
Really?
Yeah.
I always knew it was Jiffy.
It is weird though. Like
So
some of
maybe
the
you're
things
on like software 3.0.2 and like me and Lee are on another one.
right.
Yeah. it's-
Oh,
Just
you'll be on that
crazy
rabbit hole for a while there, Lee.
what's that?
You'll be on that rabbit hole for a while there
I know,
if you
it's
keep
crazy,
digging down
crazy
that.
stuff, man.
I swear to
It's
God,
a fun list.
with the people we have scheduled, if you stop showing up because you're doing Mandela research, I'm going to be really upset.
It's gonna be tearing his
Almost feel
closet
like
apart
that should
looking
be
for
a
that
whole
Fruit Loom
episode.
cornucopia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going down that rabbit hole.
I feel like
Oh,
I
that's
feel like
awesome.
in this version of the Matrix we live in, you could morph into the cornucopia.
Right.
Like as you know, like you portray your, the energy you put out in the universe, you tracked what you put out.
Yeah.
Just put out that cornucopia energy.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, man. We'll end
Okay.
it here, but yeah, I want you to come back.
Yep, absolutely.
And then anytime you ever like, it doesn't matter when it is, like
Right.
whether it's super successful shit on your business side or if you just have like a night where you want to just come bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just call us. Like, we're
And
good.
we definitely want to pick your brain when we like build a new set
Yes.
on the lighting that
Yeah,
to
for sure.
make the background pop,
For sure.
I have we have a vision for a sign.
Yeah.
And we actually want to do 2 signs. One of them with the Sick Puppy logo and lighting, and then a little bit of me and you and lighting as well.
Right.
So we will hire. I'll hire you to do that shit.
That'll be awesome.
So
Hell yeah.
all right, buddy. Anything else?
Okay.
That was great to have you, man. It was like a
Trip down memory lane.
Yeah, we're all over
3
the
hours.
place,
It
aren't
didn't
we?
feel like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Cutting it.
Appreciate it.